Chapter 844. When Zhu Sanlu was feeling proud of himself, he heard Mu Hin's sobbing in a low voice. "What do I have to do to make you let me go?" She was powerless to resist, but she didn't want to be bullied and trampled on like this. At this moment, she only felt extremely wronged. "Ah, Mu Hin, how can you say that? How can I let you go?" Zhu Sanlu said and pinched Mu Hin's butt. It felt very soft and he was secretly satisfied. "Ah!" Mu Hin screamed again without warning. She didn't expect Zhu Sanlu to be so shameless. She gave him an inch and he wanted a mile. It was too much. The noise made by the two of them alarmed the family Zhu's people. Mulan's children also heard the noise outside the house, and they all craned their heads to look outside. After seeing Zhu Sanlu, Erhua was so scared that she hurriedly shrank back. She was already traumatized by Zhu Sanlu, so she didn't dare to go out and get close to Zhu Sanlu. Mulan's eldest daughter, Dehua, also didn't dare to move. She knew that her uncle was very scary and could eat people. Otherwise, Erhua wouldn't be so scared. Previously, her mother had warned her to keep a distance from her uncle and not to get close to him. She had kept her mother's words in mind. Only San Er rushed out alone. He was a man, and he had to protect his aunt. He couldn't let his uncle bully her. San Er came to Zhu Sanlu angrily and shouted at Zhu Sanlu, "Uncle, hurry up and let go of my aunt." Zhu Sanlu glanced at the angry San Er. He was just a little kid, so he wouldn't take him seriously. "You won't let go of your aunt, so what? How dare you talk to your uncle like that? Don't you know how to respect your elders? What did your parents teach you? You don't know any etiquette at all." San Er's little eyebrows twisted together. Her little face was full of anger as she stared at Zhu Sanlu. His uncle was too much. He bullied his aunt and was still so arrogant. Wasn't it just because his parents weren't at home? San Er's eyes suddenly became sharp. Since this was the case, then don't blame him for being impolite. He had to protect his aunt. San Er took out a slingshot from her pocket, grabbed a stone, and shot it at Zhu Sanlu's face. The stone was hard, and the force of the slingshot was very strong, so when the stone hit Zhu Sanlu's face, Zhu Sanlu screamed in pain. Zhu Sanlu touched his face. Fortunately, it wasn't bleeding. Otherwise, what if it left a scar? Zhu Sanlu looked at San Er and let go of Mu Hin. He was ready to teach San Er a lesson. This little bastard actually dared to make a move on him. He was really courting death. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu was about to attack San Er, Mu Hin suddenly became anxious and quickly pulled Zhu Sanlu back. "Don't lay your hands on a child. That's too much." Zhu Sanlu coldly snorted, "What's wrong? What's wrong with me teaching my nephew a lesson? This little bastard dared to lay his hands on his elders. How can I not teach him a lesson?" With that, Zhu Sanlu's cold eyes stared at San Er again. "This little bastard, if his parents don't teach him a lesson, I'll come here to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he won't know the immensity of heaven and earth." Mu Hin was speechless for a while. What kind of person was this? Chapter 845. Moreover, even if San Er had no reason to fight, he was just a child. How could he be so calculative towards a child? It was really enough. Let San Er go. Children are not sensible. Mu Hin pulled Zhu Sanlu and said, if Zhu Sanlu really started to fight, he was an adult. It was more than enough to deal with a child. What if San Er was hurt by Zhu Sanlu? So what if he's not sensible? This kid almost ruined my face. If I don't teach this stinky kid a lesson, he won't know how arrogant he is. Zhu Sanlu meant that he didn't intend to let San Er go easily. Mu Hin could only worry in her heart. What should she do? She was afraid that Zhu Sanlu, this pervert, would be very ruthless when he hit people. What if San Er was hurt by Zhu Sanlu? San Er was also a stubborn child. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu was going to hit him, he wasn't afraid at all. He raised his angry little face and said to Zhu Sanlu, "I'm not afraid of you." Zhu Sanlu was even more angry. "Well, I want to see how you can be so rampant." After that, Zhu Sanlu picked up a wooden stick from the side and was ready to beat San Er. Before the stick in his hand fell on San Er's body, San Er had already taken out a stone from her pocket. She raised her slingshot and continued to shoot at Zhu Sanlu's face. This time, Zhu Sanlu was in so much pain that he gritted his teeth. "You kid, you're really overturning the sky." Zhu Sanlu's eyes were burning with a raging fire. San Er had completely angered Zhu Sanlu this time. If he didn't teach San Er a lesson, Zhu Sanlu wouldn't be able to swallow the anger in his heart. Mu Hin knew that Zhu Sanlu would definitely hit hard. She hurriedly said to San Er, run and find your father. San Er's little brows were still knitted together. He could run away, but his uncle would definitely bully his aunt, so he couldn't leave. "Aunt, it's okay. I'm not afraid of him. If he dares to hit me again, I'll continue to hit him with the slingshot." Mu Hin's heart was still tense. If Zhu Sanlu rushed over and snatched the slingshot from San Er's hand, how would San Er deal with Zhu Sanlu? He was no match for Zhu Sanlu. Unfortunately, San Er was very stubborn. Mu Hin found that he couldn't persuade her at all. "Overturn the heavens, overturn the heavens." Zhu Sanlu muttered angrily. San Er continued to aim at Zhu Sanlu with the slingshot. There was a feeling of mutual hostility between the two of them. After Zhu Sanlu took a step, the slingshot in San Er's hand directly shot out. This time, it hit Zhu Sanlu's knee. "Ah!" Zhu Sanlu screamed. He was actually bullied by a child. How shameful! Mrs. Zhu and Zhu's family all came out. Seeing San Er holding the slingshot in her hand and pointing it at Zhu Sanlu cried out in pain. 2 red marks were left on his face. Old Madame Zhu suddenly got angry and said to San Er, "Little beast, your father and mother really spoiled you. You even dare to hit your uncle. When your father comes back, I'll ask him to break your legs." As Mrs. Zhu spoke, she went to Zhu Sanlu and looked at Zhu Sanlu with great distress. She asked Zhu Sanlu with concern, "How are you? Are you okay? Does it hurt? Mother will blow for you." Chapter 846. Her blow made Zhu Sanlu feel disgusted. Zhu Sanlu felt nauseous and said to Mrs. Zhu angrily, "Mom, what are you doing?" "Stinks. Don't blow on me." "Stinks. I'm about to throw up because of you." Zhu Sanlu complained like this. Old Madame Zhu showed a trace of embarrassment. She said to Zhu Sanlu with some embarrassment, I'm just concerned about you. Your face looks badly injured, so I'll blow on it to make you feel better." Zhu Sanlu glanced at Mrs. Zhu with disgust. "Mom, how can I feel better? I'm about to throw up because of you." "Well..." Mrs. Zhu twitched the corner of her mouth awkwardly. Was the smell in her mouth that bad? Mrs. Zhu covered her mouth with her hand and blew on it. She smelled it and it was indeed a little smelly. Alas, it seemed that she had to brush her teeth properly. She hadn't brushed her teeth for several days. It was not that she didn't want to brush her teeth, but she had to pick willow branches to brush her teeth. In addition, brushing her teeth required salt. She couldn't bear to use so much salt. After all, salt was expensive. "Mom, next time, keep your mouth away from mine." "Really?" Zhu Sanlu complained. Zhu Laotian hurriedly responded, Yes, I know." But Zhu Sanlu responded faintly. "It's all that little bastard's fault. He hit you." Mrs. Zhu turned her eyes to San Er again. Mrs. Zhu had always been fierce to her grandchildren, so the children in the family were very afraid of Mrs. Zhu. Facing Mrs. Zhu's murderous eyes, San Er was a little scared. After her legs trembled, San Er gathered her courage and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Grandma, it's not wrong that I hit my uncle. He bullied my aunt." "Well, little bastard, you dare to talk back? You're quite arrogant. It seems that your parents didn't teach you well." "Grandma, you can't be unreasonable. How can my uncle bully my aunt? My uncle bullied my aunt, so he deserved a beating. Even if my parents come back, they won't say that I'm wrong." San Er pouted and said angrily. She really couldn't hold back the grievance in her heart. "When did your uncle bully your aunt?" "You little bastard, explain it to me clearly." Old Madame Zhu asked angrily. "Uncle insisted on hugging my aunt. He touched my auntie." San Er replied. Although he was a child, he knew a lot of things. If a man hugged a woman like that, if the woman didn't want to, it would be bullying her. Mrs. Zhu was stunned. and her gaze fell on Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Sanlu curled his lips and said aggrievedly, "Mother, don't believe what this brat said. I didn't. It was Mu Hin who seduced me and pulled me. When did I touch her?" Mrs. Zhu had a look of understanding. She naturally believed her own son. How could she believe a child's words? Mrs. Zhu snorted coldly, and her sharp eyes fell on Mu Hin. She sneered at Mu Hin. "It must be you, little bastard, who wanted to seduce our Lu. Don't you know who you are? Do you think you're good enough for our Lu? Our Lu is a scholar. In the future, he will become an official and marry a lady from a big family." Chapter 847. You've gone too far. Mu Hin pointed at Zhu Sanlu. "You're the one who kept pestering me. How could you say such shameless words?" The more Mu Hin thought about it, the angrier she got. Wasn't this tarnishing her reputation? She was fine with that, but the main point was that Mrs. Zhu even humiliated her like that. How could she be human? She was simply a rogue. She originally didn't want to provoke the family Zhu, but unfortunately, the family Zhu still stuck to her like a dog's skin plaster. Mrs. Zhu put her hands on her waist, raised her head, and said to Mu Hin, "Why would my son pester you? You should have some self-awareness, okay? Don't you know how beautiful you are? At such a young age, instead of learning the good things, you've learned how to lie and seduce people." Mrs. Zhu's words became more and more unpleasant, like a needle deeply piercing into Mu Hin's heart. Mu Hin lowered her head, suppressed the anger and unwillingness in her heart, and bit her lower lip hard. At this moment, she only felt very helpless. Zhu Dainio looked at Mu Hin's thin and weak back, trembling. Her aggrieved look made his heart ache, and he also felt that Mu Hin was very pitiful. Therefore, he stood up and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Mother, I think it must be third brother who bullied the girl." When old Madame Zhu heard Zhu Dainio's defense, she couldn't help but glare at Zhu Dainio. She reprimanded, "You child, why don't you speak up for your own family and defend outsiders?" "Mother, I'm not defending an outsider. What I said is the truth. Don't you know what kind of person third brother is?" Zhu Dainio had just finished speaking when Zhu Sanlu said very unhappily, "Brother, what do you mean? What do you mean by don't you know what kind of person I am? Tell me, what kind of person am I?" Zhu Dainio snorted and said without any trace of politeness, "A third brother, do you still need me to say it clearly? How many bad things have you done? You hit Hua before, and then you pooped with your sister-in-law. You're an animal." After Zhu Dainio finished speaking, Zhu Sanlu was so angry that he almost jumped up. His big brother was too much. Mrs. Zhu was also unhappy. She frowned and said, "Dainio, how can you say that about your brother? What kind of brother are you?" "Mother, you see, I'm telling the truth, but you don't like to hear it. Outsiders might not know what kind of person third brother is, but how could our family not know? This time, he must have made a move on Mu Hin's little sister. He even said that Mu Hin's little sister was pestering him. Mother, you're the only one who treats third younger brother like a treasure. With third younger brother's appearance, not to mention younger sister Mu Hin who's so delicate, he wouldn't even be interested in ordinary women, right? After all, he's missing something now, and he's not an ordinary man." Hearing Zhu Dainio's words, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Sanlu's faces turned red. If they weren't afraid of Zhu Dainio and didn't dare to hit Zhu Dainio, they probably would have rushed over and fought with Zhu Dainio. "You little brat, stop talking. If you tell others, how can your third brother face others in the future? How can he get married in the future?" Mrs. Zhu said angrily. Zhu Dainio wasn't worried about Zhu Sanlu at all. "Mother, I didn't say anything. Now I just want to persuade third younger brother to stop bullying and making trouble. Mu Hin is third younger brother's little sister. If third younger brother knows that third younger brother bullied his little sister like this, I think he'll beat third younger brother to death and tell others about third younger brother's embarrassing things." Chapter 848. They knew what kind of person Zhu Eru was. If they angered Zhu Eru, the consequences would probably be worse than what Zhu Dainio had said. Mrs. Zhu's lips trembled, and she said to Zhu Dainio, "Sai, what should we do? We can't let Eru know about this." She thought about how Zhu Eru had killed Zhu Sanlu last time and directly made Zhu Sanlu impotent. If he did it again this time, he was afraid that he would lose his life. Zhu Sanlu immediately gave up. He frowned and asked Mrs. Zhu, "Mom, what should I do? What if Eru hits me?" Mrs. Zhu comforted him, "It's okay, don't worry." After Mrs. Zhu comforted Zhu Sanlu, she said to Zhu Dainiu, "Dainiu, don't tell anyone about this. Can't know about it. Doesn't know how to control his strength." Zhu Dainiu only felt that it was funny. Was it okay if he didn't say anything? Wuxia wasn't a fool. Her mouth was on her body. If she wanted to say something, who could stop her? Before Zhu Dainiu could say anything, San shouted at Mrs. Zhu, I'll go tell my father. He'll say that my uncle bullied my aunt." Old Lady Zhu glared at San with hatred. "You little bastard, San said and ran away. Mrs. Zhu couldn't catch up with her. Sigh. Mrs. Zhu sighed. If Zhu Eru came back, what should she do? She couldn't let anything happen to Lu. "Mom, what should we do? What should we do?" Zhu Sanlu asked anxiously. Mrs. Zhu shook her head. She didn't know either. Zhu Dainiu found it funny and sneered at Zhu Sanlu, "Third brother, you are quite timid at this time. Why didn't you think that second brother would do it before?" Mrs. Zhu glared at Zhu Dainiu. "What are you saying now? Hurry up and think of a solution for your brother." "Mother, what can we do? It's better to let third brother hide quickly. It's fine as long as second brother doesn't catch him." Mrs. Zhu nodded. Yes. "Hurry up and hide." With that, Mrs. Zhu called out to Zhu Sanlu, "Hurry up and hide." Zhu Sanlu was so scared that his chrysanthemum tightened. He quickly ran away and hid in some corner. Mrs. Zhu didn't dare to provoke Mu Hin anymore, so she returned to her room. After the two weirdos left, Mu Hin heaved a heavy sigh and finally stopped tormenting her. It was all thanks to Zhu Dainiu that she was able to get away and third brother didn't get beaten. Therefore, Mu Hin looked at Zhu Dainiu gratefully. "Thank you." The young girl's clear voice sounded. Zhu Dainiu saw Mu Hin smiling at him. The smile on her face was like a daisy, very beautiful. Coupled with Mu Hin's pleasant voice, Zhu Dainiu suddenly felt his heart ripple, and his whole body became light. Zhu Dainiu was stunned for a while, then he quickly shook his head at Mu Hin and said, it's nothing. You don't have to be so polite." "But if it weren't for you, third brother, and I would definitely..." Zhu Dainiu looked at Mu Hin with pity. "It's fine now. My mother and third brother definitely won't dare to bully you in the future. If they bully you, just tell me. I will go and teach them a lesson." "Okay." Mu Hin answered timidly, showing the shyness of a little girl. Chapter 849. Mu Hin nodded, then shook her head. "Then I'll go in." Mu Hin limped into Mu Lan's room. Zhu Dainiu's gaze fell on Mu Hin, and he could not retract it for a long time. The young lady was still prettier. She was just more moving than his wife. Madame Qi watched from the side. She saw the interaction between Zhu Dainiu and Mu Hin, as well as Zhu Dainiu's reaction. When she saw Zhu Dainiu staring at Mu Xin, that look of reluctance and longing, it was as if he wanted to stick to her body. Madame Qi guessed that Zhu Dainiu was most likely attracted to Mu Hin. Men were all the same. They all liked young and beautiful women. Madame Qi's heart was filled with jealousy and jealousy. She looked at Zhu Dainiu with a resentful expression and said, "Dainiu, she's already gone into the room. Why are you still looking at her? You've been seduced by that little vixen, haven't you?" Madame Qi's words made Zhu Dainiu's face heat up. It was as if his thoughts had been seen through. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Zhu Dainiu reprimanded Madame Qi with a sullen face. Madame Qi pursed her lips indignantly. I'm not wrong. Look at that little vixen's eyes. It's as if she wants to eat her up. Dainiu, tell me honestly, have you taken a liking to that little vixen? I've never seen you meddle in other people's business before. Now you're actually helping others. You stinking woman. If you continue to talk nonsense, do you believe that I'll teach you a lesson? I haven't hit you for a while, and you're itching for a beating? Zhu Dainiu reprimanded her, and his gaze suddenly became sharp. Seeing that Zhu Dainiu was angry, Madame Qi was so frightened that she quickly shut her mouth. She did not dare to say anything else. Mu Hin is second brother's wife's younger sister. She's considered our relative. If I can help her, I'll help her. What's the big deal? Zhu Dainio added another sentence, as if he was trying to defend himself. Madame Qi didn't believe Zhu Dainio's nonsense, but she didn't dare to refute. If she angered Zhu Dainio, he would definitely punish her. However, Madame Qi was extremely jealous of Mu Hin. She actually dared to seduce her man. She would definitely teach her a lesson later. Zhao Yuner tidied up the house. In the afternoon, Zhao Yuner's aunt, Feng Xianxia, came over. As soon as they arrived at Zhao Yuner's home, Feng Xianxia enthusiastically approached Zhao Yuner. She warmed Zhao Yuner up and even brought a lot of vegetables over. As the saying goes, one who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. Her great-aunt must have come for something. Zhao Yuner raised her eyebrows and asked Feng Xianxia, "Aunt, what can I do for you?" Feng Xianxia gave a fake smile and said, "Yuner girl, what are you saying? Can't first aunt stay here and chat with you and have a chat?" Zhao Yuner sneered in her heart, but she forced a smile on her face and said, "Of course not. Aunt, you can come over if you want to." However, I thought that normally people would only think of coming here when they need help. After Zhao Yuner said that, Feng Xianxia felt very embarrassed. Feng Xianxia smiled embarrassedly. "I shouldn't do that. If I don't need your help, I should visit you more often. I know that. It's just that I don't have much time on weekdays." After saying that, Feng Xianxia observed Zhao Yuner's expression to see how Zhao Yuner would react. Chapter 850. Feng Xianxia's face darkened. After Zhao Yuner said that, she couldn't say what she had prepared. After hesitating for a while, she finally said to Zhao Yuner, "Hey, Yuner, I do have something I need your help with." "You're here to ask for my help? I was wondering why Auntie had so much free time to come to my house to see me." Zhao Yuner looked at Feng Xianxia with a smile, which made Feng Xianxia very uncomfortable. Feng Xianxia wasn't stupid. She naturally knew that Zhao Yuner was mocking her. If it was in the past, she could completely ignore her and leave after scolding her. But now that she had a favor to ask, what could she do? She controlled her temper and still looked at Zhao Yuner with a smile. "Hey, Yuner, I don't have a choice. If I can avoid troubling you, who would want to bother you?" Zhao Yuner sneered, thinking that Feng Xianxia was really lying. Li Chuang was the kind of person who was shameless in public, while Feng Xianxia was shameless in private. She was more scheming than Li Chuang. Seeing that Zhao Yuner didn't say anything, Feng Xianxia continued shamelessly, "Yuner, actually, I just want to ask you for a favor. What is it?" "Your second cousin brother is going to have a blind date tomorrow, and he's chosen a girl. I've already told them that the girl will go to Yang City the day after tomorrow to eat at your breakfast stall. Can you bring your second cousin brother along when you go to Yang City the day after tomorrow and entertain them? You know that if you invite them to our house, the girl will be too embarrassed to come, and your grandmother will definitely be reluctant to entertain them. I heard that the girl's family is very rich. If the person we entertain isn't satisfied, what if this marriage is called off?" Feng Xianxia said a lot, as if she was acting pitiful. Zhao Yuner only felt that it was very funny. Sure enough, this was what an ordinary person would say. However, when it came to her second cousin's marriage, Zhao Yuner became concerned about it. Zhao Tianhu treated their family well. Zhao Yuner would help him if she could. However, Zhao Yuner didn't want Feng Xianxia to take advantage of her. It would make her think that she was easy to talk to. Zhao Yuner sneered and said, "Aunt, it's not that I don't want to help my second cousin brother, but when the time comes to entertain them, do you have to pay for their breakfast?" When Feng Xianxia heard Zhao Yuner's words, she didn't expect Zhao Yuner to be so calculative. Feng Xianxia smiled embarrassedly and said, "Yuner, your breakfast shouldn't cost much, right? How much can a few people eat? Just help them. Alas, you know, we haven't separated from the family, and the money is in your grandmother's hands. Even if your aunt wants to give you money, she can't." The corners of Zhao Yuner's mouth curled up for a moment. Her aunt's excuse was not bad. "Aunt, you can't say that." The breakfast I make and sell are all good things. If a few people eat casually, it will be dozens of copper coins. I can help you, but I have to calculate the accounts clearly. After all, it's not easy to run a business, and it's hard to make money. Aunt, you can discuss it with Grandma first and take out the money. If Grandma really doesn't want to give it to me, I'll keep this money and wait for you to separate from the family. When you have money, you can give it to me. After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, there was a faint smile at the corner of her mouth. Chapter 851. Zhao Yun was harder to deal with than she had imagined. Well, Zhao Yuner smiled and asked, "Aunt, it's not too much to ask, is it?" Feng Xianxia smiled embarrassedly. She thought that if she were to discuss with Huo Chunhua's calculative character, it would be strange if she was willing to take out money. If they separated from the family, well, it was fine. Her Tianlong was so promising that he would definitely be able to pass the imperial exam this year. At that time, she wouldn't be able to take out as much money as she wanted. She didn't care about dozens of copper coins at all. Therefore, she nodded with a smile. "It's not too much. Yun, please help me with your second cousin's business." Zhao Yuner smiled. "It's fine." After that, Feng Xianxia didn't stay at Zhao Yun's place for too long before she went back home. Zhao Yun went to the third branch after she was done with the family business. These days, because there were people coming over to help with the work, Zhao Yun had to go to the third branch to help cook, so that the men who were working could eat to their heart's content, so that they could work harder. When they were cooking, Zhao Yun chatted with Liang Jinxiao. "Yunlu, your aunt asked someone to send a message. She said that she will come to our house tomorrow," Liang Jinxiao said. Because Zhao Ping's marriage was closer, they had to send money as a gift before Zhao Ping's wedding. It would be very late if her aunt came tomorrow. However, it was understandable. After all, they didn't live in the same village. It was the busy time of farming now, so it wasn't easy for her to find time. Hearing that her aunt was coming, Zhao Yun frowned at first. She didn't like it in her heart. With her uncles, aunts, Zhao Yun was afraid of Liang Jinxiao's relatives. What if it was another relative coming over? She didn't want to entertain those weird and annoying relatives. There was very little information about her little aunt in the original owner's memories, so Zhao Yun couldn't judge whether this little aunt was strange or not. "Let's do it," Zhao Yun said. No matter how strange the person was, with her around, he didn't believe that they could bully his family. "Yuner, don't worry. Your aunt is a nice person," Liang Jinxiao said with a smile. Seeing Zhao Yuner's expression, Liang Jinxiao had already guessed what Zhao Yuner was thinking. "Really?" Zhao Yun couldn't believe it. "You'll know when you see him." But hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Yun became expectant. The two of them chatted about other things as they cooked. After dinner, Zhao Yun packed up the food she had left for Mu Lianfeng before sending it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng began to get busy again in the past 2 days. From Mu Lianfeng's conversation with Mo Yen, Zhao Yun learnt that it was about making weapons. Zhao Yun did not know much about ancient weapons, so she could not help Mu Lianfeng. The only thing she could do was make some delicious food behind him and send it to him. Knowing that Mo Yen was working with Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun prepared an extra portion for Mo Yen to eat. "Mother, do you want Daodu to go with you?" Daodu tugged at the corner of Zhao Yun's clothes considerately as he asked softly. "No need. I can do it alone. You stay at home and have a good rest, okay?" Zhao Yun touched Daodu's little face and said gently, "All right." Daodu seemed a little disappointed. "What's wrong, Daodu? Are you unhappy?" Chapter 852. Daodu's pitiful little face really made people feel sorry for him. Zhao Yun nodded heavily and replied, "Okay, I know. I'll tell your father what Daodu said." But Zhao Yun carried the food up the mountain. When she entered Mu Lianfeng's tent, Mu Lianfeng and Mo Yen were talking so seriously that they didn't notice Zhao Yun's arrival. Seeing them discussing work, Zhao Yun didn't have the heart to disturb them. Mu Lianfeng didn't realize it until he smelled a familiar scent. He raised his head and looked in the direction of Zhao Yun. Why are you here? When did you come? Why don't you guess? Well, I thought you wouldn't notice. I didn't expect you to only realize it now. Zhao Yun said and sighed in disappointment. She continued, Mu Lianfeng, it seems like Mo Yen is much more attractive than me. Did you have a good time chatting with him? After Zhao Yun said that, Mo Yan's anus tightened. Oh my God, was Madam jealous of him? No way. Please don't. There was nothing between him and his master. There was nothing at all. If Zhao Yun really misunderstood, Mu Lianfeng would definitely find fault with him later. Unsurprisingly, after Zhao Yun said that, Mu Lianfeng's cold eyes shot towards Mo Yen. Mo Yen only felt very wronged. Why was she always the one who was hurt? Why didn't you remind Madam when she came? Mu Lianfeng asked coldly. Mo Yen said with a bitter face, Master? I'm the same as you. I didn't see it either. When she met Mu Lianfeng's cold eyes, she looked away in fear. Zhao Yun had no idea how to react when she saw Mo Yen being bullied by Mu Lianfeng. This was the first time he had seen such a bad master. Zhao Yun watched on, so she came to Mo Yan's rescue. All right, stop talking. Let's eat. If we wait any longer, the food will really turn cold. Mo Yen was rather eager, but she still held back. She wanted to see what Mu Lianfeng had to say first. Only when Mu Lianfeng said it was ready did she dare to go over. Hearing Zhao Yun's greeting, he knew that Zhao Yun was not angry with him. Mu Lianfeng also smiled and said, Well, I know you. Thank you for bringing us the food. Zhao Yun said, It's no trouble at all. Mo Yen also came over eagerly and said to Zhao Yun, Madam, you're still the most considerate. You're nicer to people. You're not like my master at all. He's so heartless. As Zhao Yun said, she glanced at Mu Lianfeng with some complaint. When Mu Lianfeng glared at her, she immediately shut her mouth in fright. Let's eat. Your master really knows how to bully people. I don't know why you're still so loyal to him when he bullies you like this. If it were me, I probably would have run away long ago. Right? Madam, you're absolutely right. There really aren't many people as loyal as me these days. It's all because my master is so lucky. As Mo Yen said that, she raised her chin proudly. She felt that she and Zhao Yun were very compatible. Your master is quite lucky, Zhao Yun said with a smile. Chapter 853. Mo Yen knew that to Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun's words were like an imperial edict that he would listen to. Maybe after hearing what Zhao Yun said, Mu Lianfeng would treat him better. After all, it was hard to find a subordinate like him. He was good at martial arts and he was handsome. He would be very eye-catching when he went out. Just as Mo Yen was feeling complacent, Mu Lianfeng stomped down heavily on Mo Yen. Ah! Mo Yen screamed and looked at Mu Lianfeng fiercely. She asked Mu Lianfeng, Master, why did you step on me? Mu Lianfeng smiled. You said something wrong, so you should be punished. Also, eat properly when it's time to eat. What's the point of saying so much? You don't have to eat if you don't want to. I can finish so much by myself. Mo Yen pouted, feeling even more wronged. What could he say? He could only let his master bully him. Sigh. Mo Yen sighed deeply, feeling very wronged. However, she didn't dare to say anything more, afraid that she would make Mu Lianfeng unhappy and she wouldn't be able to eat such delicious food. Zhao Yun had been listening to their conversation just now. She saw that their conversation touched on the issue of the sharpness of the weapons. In the era of cold weapons, soldiers relied on these weapons to fight. The better the quality of the weapon, the more effective it would be in battle. Now, the problem that Mu Lianfeng found very troublesome was that the emperor was very dissatisfied with the weapon samples they submitted. He felt that the quality of the weapons didn't meet the standard, so he told Mu Lianfeng to improve the weapons and make them sharper. However, it was impossible to come up with a solution just by thinking about it. Mu Lianfeng thought about it himself and asked some people to help him think, but he still couldn't come up with a solution. It was because of this that Mu Lianfeng was very anxious. After all, the emperor's weight was limited. If they couldn't come up with a solution in the given time, it would be troublesome if the emperor got angry. Mu Lianfeng had been in a terrible fix because of this matter for the past few days. He didn't want to burden her with his troubles, so Mu Lianfeng didn't talk to Zhao Yun about it. If it were not for the fact that Zhao Yun had not entered Mu Lianfeng's tent without being discovered by Mu Lianfeng and Mu Lianfeng's conversation, Zhao Yun probably would not have known about this. Thinking about what Daodu had told her today, Zhao Yun suddenly felt a tinge of sadness in her heart. If Mu Lianfeng didn't solve the problem, he wouldn't be able to accompany Daodu so soon. Thinking of this, Zhao Yun felt that she had better help them think of a solution. How could he make a weapon sharp? This should have something to do with the materials used in the weapon. The material was hard, but the weapon was sharp. In this era, the weapons that people forged were basically made of iron. Zhao Yun thought for a while, wondering if she could find something harder to replace it. Suddenly, Zhao Yun was a little excited as if she suddenly thought of something. She didn't know if this method would work. She had to experiment it first. She didn't have much time today, so she would go up the mountain tomorrow and try again. If it worked, she would help Mu Lianfeng find a solution. Chapter 854. Both of them had eaten a lot, but they looked like they hadn't had enough. If it weren't for the fact that she could earn some money, she wouldn't be able to raise such a big family. Waiting for the two people to finish eating, Zhao Yun cleaned up the dishes. Mo Yen burped loudly. After burping, she looked at Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng awkwardly. Master, madam, I ate a little too much. Mo Yen didn't forget to flatter. It's all because madam's food is too delicious. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to. Zhao Yun couldn't help but twitch the corner of her mouth a few times. So, it was her fault that he ate too much? Mu Lianfeng rolled his eyes at Mo Yen and snorted, "Eat less next time." I know, master. Alas, I can't control myself. Besides, there's so much food. We can't waste it, right? Don't worry. It won't be wasted. As long as he was here, he could eat as much as he wanted. Mo Yen answered resentfully again. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart that her master was too inhumane. It was fine that she bullied him usually, but she was stingy when it came to food. Could it be that she couldn't see how much weight he had lost after coming to this mountain? Mu Lianfeng, if you have something to do, you can go ahead. I'm going back. Zhao Yun carried the lunchbox and was about to leave. At this time, the sky outside had already darkened. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yun would be in danger if she went down the mountain alone, so he said to Zhao Yun, "Yun, it's not safe at the foot of the mountain. I'd better give you a ride." Zhao Yun shook her head. "It's fine. You go ahead. I can do it alone." Zhao Yun didn't want to waste Mu Lianfeng's time. In the past few days, because of this matter, Mu Lianfeng was so worried that he didn't have a good rest. His eyes were bloodshot. Zhao Yun felt very distressed when she saw this. "I'm not busy. Yun, I'll give you a ride. I can also go out and get some fresh air." Mu Lianfeng insisted. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yun didn't know what to say. She nodded and said, "Okay, then give me a ride." And Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile, making people feel as if they were bathing in the spring breeze. The two of them walked out of the tent side by side and headed towards the foot of the mountain. When they reached a place where no one was around, Mu Lianfeng suddenly pulled Zhao Yun and hugged Zhao Yun tightly in his arms. Zhao Yun was stunned by Mu Lianfeng's sudden action. She couldn't help but ask, "What's wrong, Mu Lianfeng? Are you okay?" Mu Lianfeng shook his head and said, "I'm fine. It's just that I've been too busy these 2 days. I don't have time to accompany you and Daodu." Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yun also curled up the corners of her mouth. In fact, she had missed him a lot. But she could tell the situation clearly. Mu Lianfeng was busy with business. Naturally, he didn't have much time to accompany her. "It's fine. When you're done, you can accompany us again," Zhao Yun said with a smile. And Mu Lianfeng responded, but he was very worried in his heart. Rather than being worried, it was more like he was afraid. Because this matter was very tricky, he was afraid that if he didn't handle it well, the emperor would be angry. At that time, not only would he not be able to ask the emperor to grant him a marriage, he was also afraid that the emperor would torture him. Chapter 855. But if he didn't do it well? Although the emperor didn't have any reason to blame him, he had other ways to make things difficult for him. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yun would be implicated. It wasn't easy for them to have hope, but this time, it was abruptly interrupted. Zhao Yun broke away from Mu Lianfeng's embrace. Seeing Mu Lianfeng frowning, she stretched out her hand to smooth out the wrinkles between Mu Lianfeng's eyebrows. She said to Mu Lianfeng, "Take your time. You're not alone now. You have Daodu and me." Mu Lianfeng responded. Zhao Yun's words were like a warm current flowing through his heart. "Let's go." Zhao Yun held Mu Lianfeng's hand and was about to continue walking when they heard a sound from the grass. It was a woman's coquettish voice again. Zhao Yun's face was suddenly dyed with a blush. She knew who this familiar voice belonged to. It should be Zhang Cui, who couldn't bear it anymore and went to find someone to do it. It would be fine if she ran into it alone, but Mu Lianfeng was with her. Mu Lianfeng seemed to have noticed it too. He frowned and asked softly, "What's this sound? Who's there? Let's go and have a look." Zhao Yun was shocked when she heard it. She hurriedly pulled Mu Lianfeng. What was there to look at? It would be so embarrassing if she ran into Mu Lianfeng at the same time. It should be nothing. "You'd better not go and have a look," Zhao Yun said casually. The more Zhao Yun said, the more curious Mu Lianfeng was. "Yun, do you know who it is? What happened?" Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked. Well, Zhao Yun didn't know how to respond. What could she say? She couldn't possibly tell Mu Lianfeng that the man and woman in the bushes were having an affair right in front of him. "I'll go and have a look. It's so late at night. What if something happens to her?" Mu Lianfeng was silent for a while and finally insisted on going. With Mu Lianfeng's tall body, Zhao Yun realized that she couldn't hold him back at all. She could only let Mu Lianfeng do as he pleased. Zhao Yun lowered her head and quickly followed him. "Be careful. Let's take a look first. Don't disturb others. What if nothing happened?" "All right." Mu Lianfeng walked over softly. When he got closer, he saw a man and a woman performing an erotic scene in front of him. "Yun is fine. Let's go," Mu Lianfeng said and covered Zhao Yun's eyes, as if he was afraid that Zhao Yun would see it. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was so calm, Zhao Yun couldn't help being curious. Did he really not see anything? It didn't make sense. She couldn't have been hallucinating just now. Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask, "Mu Lianfeng, didn't you see anything?" Mu Lianfeng stopped walking and shook his head. No, however, after saying this, a trace of unnoticeable awkwardness flashed across Mu Lianfeng's face. But there was a sound just now. Mu Lianfeng cleared his throat. "Yun, let's go. It's other people's business." Mu Lianfeng's words made Zhao Yun realize that Mu Lianfeng had seen Zhang Cui doing it just now. He just didn't want her to see it, so he deliberately said that. Seeing Mu Lianfeng's serious look, she felt that he was really cute. Chapter 856. Mu Lianfeng sent Zhao Yun to the entrance of the village before turning back. He didn't come back to sleep for the past 2 days and slept directly on the mountain. Zhao Yun felt a little uncomfortable with no one to warm her bed. On the way back, when she passed by Mu Lan's house, she saw a sneaky figure. She didn't know what he was doing. Zhao Yun was very familiar with this figure. It was none other than Mu Lan's wretched uncle, Zhu Sanlu. Needless to say, Zhu Sanlu was still strolling in front of the courtyard at this time of night. There must be something wrong. Meanwhile, the lights in family Zhu's house were on in Mu Lan's house. Zhu Sanlu's reaction seemed to be very anxious. He looked nervously in the direction of family Zhu. Zhao Yun came closer, and Zhu Sanlu also noticed Zhao Yun. Zhu Sanlu wanted to flirt with Zhao Yun. After suffering a loss that night, he knew that Zhao Yun wasn't so easy to deal with. Therefore, he just stared at Zhao Yun wretchedly for a while. When she met Zhu Sanlu's gaze, Zhao Yun couldn't help but frown. She said to Zhu Sanlu unhappily, Why are you looking at me? Do you believe that I won't gouge your eyes out if you keep looking? Zhao Yun's tone was a little shrewish and threatening. Zhu Sanlu smiled wretchedly and said, "Little girl, aren't you good looking for people to see? Is there anything wrong with looking at you?" Zhao Yun couldn't help but roll her eyes and say sarcastically, "I'm good looking for people to see, not for a beast like you." Zhu Sanlu knew that Zhao Yun was mocking him. He glared at Zhao Yun angrily and said, "Woman, how can you say that?" Zhao Yun's sneer deepened. "Look, I'm not wrong to say that you're a beast. As long as you're a human, you can understand my words. Only beasts can't." Zhu Sanlu's anger was stirred up by Zhao Yun. How could this woman be so overboard? She kept calling him a beast. How is he a beast? Don't go too far. If you provoke me, I'll hit you. Zhu Sanlu gritted his teeth and said. Zhao Yun only thought that it was funny. Glancing at Zhu Sanlu's thin and weak body, Zhao Yun put her hands on her waist, condescendingly said, "I'm curious if you can beat me." Zhao Yun's words made Zhu Sanlu feel that his dignity had been greatly insulted. What she meant was that he, a man, couldn't even beat a woman. If this spread out, who knows how many people would laugh at him. In order to prove himself and save his dignity, Zhu Sanlu decided to teach Zhu Sanlu a lesson first and let Zhao Yun see how powerful he was. "Just you wait, stinking woman. I'll beat you until you kneel down and beg for mercy." With that, Zhu Sanlu rushed over. Zhu Sanlu thought that if he really subdued Zhao Yun, he would molest Zhao Yun while he was at it. It would be a pity if he didn't bully such a beautiful woman. Seeing Zhu Sanlu rushing over, Zhao Yun stood calmly in the same place. She couldn't understand Zhu Sanlu's thin and weak body. Where did he get the confidence to beat someone? Let's not talk about her. Even an ordinary woman with no skills might not be able to defeat him. Chapter 857. Zhao Yun's movements were as smooth as flowing water. At the same time, she kicked Zhu Sanlu away effortlessly. Withdrawing her foot, Zhao Yun's eyes flashed with disdain. After Zhu Sanlu flew out, he screamed. His scream was very miserable. "It hurts. It hurts so much," Zhu Sanlu said and struggled to get up from the ground. But before he could straighten up for a while, he fell down again. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu's chin was knocked open, Zhao Yun's heart was secretly pleased. Zhao Yun lowered her head and squatted in front of Zhu Sanlu. Her voice sounded sarcastic. "What? Didn't you say that you were going to teach me a lesson? Why are you so weak?" Zhu Sanlu gritted his teeth. "You wait and see." "Oh, you're still being stubborn. It seems that I have to teach you a lesson," Zhao Yun said and stepped on Zhu Sanlu's crotch again. Zhu Sanlu hurriedly begged for mercy. "Yun, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have hit you. Please let me go." The reason why he became so scared in a second was that the thing below was too important for Zhu Sanlu. Now that it was finally getting better, if Zhao Yun's foot went down, wouldn't it be impossible for the things below to get better? Zhao Yun sneered and said, "What? You were still lustful just now, but you lost your courage so quickly?" "Yun, it's my fault. I shouldn't have taken advantage of you." Please let me go. I don't want to be impotent for the rest of my life. I promise that I will stay far away from you when I see you in the future. I will never dirty your eyes." Hearing Zhu Sanlu's words, Zhao Yun felt that it was acceptable. Jiao Tian got down from Zhu Sanlu's dirty thing with disgust. He raised his eyebrows and said, "Remember what you said today." Yes. Just when Zhu Sanlu thought he was saved, the commotion attracted Zhu Eru. As soon as he saw Zhu Eru, Zhu Sanlu was so scared that he immediately fled. Zhu Eru didn't give him the chance. He immediately stepped forward and grabbed Zhu Sanlu's collar. Zhao Yun couldn't figure out what was going on. After that, Mulan also rushed over. She frowned and stared at Zhu Eru and Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Eru snorted in a deep voice. "Run? Let's see where you can run to." Through. Zhu Sanlu called Zhao Eru, but there was fear in his eyes when he looked at Zhao Eru. Zhu Eru coldly snorted, "Don't call me second brother. You only know how to do those beastly things all day, and you still have the nerve to call me second brother? Zhu Sanlu had an aggrieved look on his face. Second brother, I was wondering why I couldn't find you. It turns out that you secretly ran out to hide. Since you know that what you did was wrong, why did you still do it? Facing Zhu Eru's aggressive and frightening eyes, Zhu Sanlu began to regret. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have dared to do it. Second brother, I was wrong. I was wrong. Can you let me go? I won't dare to do it again. Zhu Eru snorted. Haven't I let you go many times? I'm being merciful by not killing you. Chapter 858. Zhu Er didn't show any mercy when he beat Zhu Sanlu. Seeing Zhu Sanlu like this, Zhao Yin was worried that Zhu Sanlu would be beaten to death by Zhu Eru. Although Zhu Sanlu was a little hateful, this was the same as the 21st century. A life for a life. If Zhu Sanlu really died, Zhu Eru had to take the responsibility. Seeing Zhu Eru so angry, Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask Mulan, Mulan, what did your third younger brother do to make Eru so angry? Mulan sighed and explained to Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun didn't understand what had happened until she heard it. Zhu Sanlu was a disgusting man. Zhu Eru didn't punish him that badly. Under Zhu Eru's punches, Zhu Sanlu's whole face was bruised and swollen. Seeing Zhu Sanlu like this, Zhao Yun couldn't help laughing. He deserved it. After beating Zhu Sanlu hard, Zhu Eru finally vented his anger. He pulled Mulan and said, let's go back. We'll be able to answer to Xianxia this time. Mulan glanced at Zhu Sanlu, who couldn't get up from the ground. She couldn't help asking, Uncle, do you want to carry him back with us? Zhu Eru snorted. Since he wants to hide outside, let him be. We don't need to care about him. Fine. I'm going back now. You should go back too. Zhao Yun nodded. Sure, Mrs. Mulan. After they went back home from Family Zhu's place, Zhao Yun fell asleep soon with Daodu. The next morning, they went to the breakfast stall early. It was strange that Yi Li didn't come to eat breakfast today. Yi Li came to eat breakfast at her stall every day. It had become a habit. If he didn't come, something must have happened. Yun, why didn't Lord Yi come today? Mulan got close to Zhao Yun and asked curiously. Zhao Yun shook her head. I don't know. There was a hint of disappointment in Mulan's eyes as she said, Sigh, without Mr. Yi, our business has been greatly affected. There aren't any young ladies buying breakfast today. Zhao Yun chuckled. Sister Mulan, I think you're disappointed because you can't see a handsome man, right? Mu glared at Zhao Yun coquettishly. Aren't you that kind of a woman? You can't even look straight when you see a man. Mulan pursed her lips as if she didn't agree. She reminded Zhao Yun, you can only joke about this outside. If Eru hears this, he might get jealous in front of me. Zhao Yun quickly nodded. Okay, I got it. Although she was joking with Mulan, Zhao Yun was secretly worried about Yi Li. She hoped that nothing would happen to this guy. She set up the breakfast stall with a heavy heart. Without Yi Li's beautiful signboard, Zhao Yun's business was very bleak. When she closed the stall, there were still a lot of things on Zhao Yun's stall that hadn't been sold. However, these things weren't sold, so there wasn't much left. Zhao Yun and Mulan's families could share a little and bring it to their children. Chapter 859. After shopping at the market, Zhao Yun and the others set off for home. On the way, Mulan and Mu Hin kept reminding her that if anyone bullied her again, she must tell them. After all, if Mu Hin didn't say anything, they wouldn't know. They couldn't let Mu Hin be bullied for nothing. The car stopped in front of old Zhao's yard. When Zhao Yun got out of the car and was about to go back to prepare lunch, she saw Li Chuang rushing over angrily. It seemed that she was going to fight Zhao Yun to the death. Zhao Yun frowned immediately. She didn't know what Li Chuang had done this time. She raised her eyebrows unhappily and asked Li Chuang, Second aunt, why are you acting like a shrew in front of me? What did I do to offend you? Zhao Yun's tone was a little more reproachful. She looked at Li Chuang as if she was looking at a mad dog. Li Chuang snorted coldly and said to Zhao Yun, You little b asterisk t. You still have the nerve to ask? Don't you know what shameful things you've done? Zhao Yun'er's frown deepened, and she became more curious. What could she have done? These days, she didn't have any contact with old Zhao's family at all. What did she do to offend Li Chuang for no reason? Liang Jinxiao walked over and said to Li Chuang, "Second sister-in-law, what's the matter? You can make it clear. You hit her as soon as you came. We're all family. Why are you so impulsive?" Liang Jinxiao was also unhappy about Li Chuang's crazy behavior. If anyone hurt Zhao Yun, she would definitely not let them off easily. Li Chuang took a few deep breaths. She rolled up her sleeves and pouted. She looked at Zhao Yun and Liang Jinxiao aggressively and said, "Didn't you want to ask why? All right, I'll tell you about it today." Li Chuang didn't mind the trouble and shouted outside old Zhao's yard, as if she was afraid that she wouldn't cause trouble. "Everyone come and judge. How can there be such a shameless b***teasich in the world?" Along with Li Chuang's loud voice and the gossipy nature of the villagers, a lot of people came to join in the fun after hearing Li Chuang's loud voice. Seeing that there were villagers here, Li Chuang became more arrogant. "Third sister-in-law, don't blame me for being angry with you. Look at what a good daughter you have." "What's wrong with my daughter?" Liang Jinxiao replied unhappily. Except for Zhao Ping, Liang Jinxiao knew Zhao Yun very well. He couldn't find anything bad about her. "Don't you feel ashamed to say this? Zhao Yun has learned how to seduce people. She even dares to steal her cousin's man." Li Chuang was very angry when she said this. Her face was gloomy. When she saw Zhao Yun'er's face, she wanted to tear Zhao Yun'er's face apart. If Zhao Yun becomes an ugly monster, let's see if she still has the ability to seduce men. "Second sister-in-law, what do you mean? You can't talk nonsense. When did Yun steal her cousin's man?" Liang Jinxiao also asked with a gloomy face. At this time, there were so many villagers and neighbors. If Li Chuang slandered Zhao Yun like this, it would be really bad for Zhao Yun'er's reputation. Zhao Yun narrowed her eyes slightly. She wasn't anxious and thought about what had happened in between. Why did Li Chuang say this? Chapter 860. My sister-in-law, you shouldn't be so protective of your daughter like this. Let me make it clear in front of so many people. Anyway, you're the ones who should be embarrassed. Our Jing and Child Zheng's marriage were going well, but Child Zheng suddenly asked matchmaker Feng to come over today and say that he wants to marry Yun, not Jing. My sister-in-law, why would Child Jing say that? Your daughter must have done something to make him change his mind. After Li Chuang finished speaking, Zhao Jinger walked behind Li Chuang with a sullen face. She seemed to be very sad. Zhao Jing called her mother in a hoarse voice. Her eyes were red. She had been crying. Zhao Jinger probably thought that this was a good marriage and that she had almost reached an agreement with the Zheng family. She should be able to marry Zheng Qian. She didn't expect that matchmaker Gao would suddenly come over today with this news. No one could bear such a huge sense of loss. "Mother, forget it." Zhao Jinger pulled Li Chuang and said. Now that Zheng Qian had said so, what else could she do? She couldn't argue with Zheng Qian and force him to marry her. If other people knew, they would definitely laugh at her. Zhao Jinger felt wronged thinking about it. Li Chuang pulled Zhao Jinger's hand. "Jing, how can we just let it go like this? Zhao Yun'er, that little bitch, stole your future husband. How can you do this? Dear neighbors and fellow villagers, please be the judge for me." Although the onlookers didn't know what had happened, they had a general idea. Previously, Li Chuang thought that Zhao Yun'er had found a good marriage and even showed it off in the village. He didn't expect that only 2 days later, the person he wanted to marry became Zhao Yun. It must be that Zhao Yun'er seduced Zhao Jinger's future husband. Therefore, the villagers began to talk about it. "I didn't expect Zhao Yun'er to be such a person." "Exactly. How could she steal her cousin's man?" "Well, who knows? There are all kinds of people these days. No wonder old Zhao's second branch is angry. Anyone would be angry." "That's not the case. It's probably because Zhao Yun felt that Jing had married into a good family, so she was jealous and snatched her away." That's probably the case. Otherwise, that man wouldn't change his mind and say that he's here to marry Zhao Yun, or instead of Jing. Yes, of course. The villagers were chattering, but they were all leaning towards Li Chuang's side, criticizing Zhao Yun's bad words. When Zhao Yun heard this, she only felt that it was very ridiculous. Did these people have any brains? Why did they believe what others said? Li Chuang was very proud when he heard that Zhao Yun was criticized. This was the consequence of stealing Zhao Yun's man. He was going to ruin Zhao Yun's reputation and see if Zhao Yun still dared to do it. Zhao Yun, sister-in-law, what else do you have to say now? Li Chuang seemed to be in the right and continued to ask. Well, Liang Jinxiao didn't know how to refute Li Chuang, so he looked at Zhao Yun and waited for Zhao Yun's response. Zhao Yun shrugged innocently. "Aunt, you're ridiculous. That's not how you slander people, right?" Chapter 861. Li Chuang was so arrogant because she was sure that the villagers would stand on her side. However, in Zhao Yun's eyes, she was just a clown. Zhao Yun sneered. "Second aunt, let's not talk about why Child Jing changed his marriage partner to me. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I just want to ask, do I have to seduce Child Jing and come between Sister Jing and Child Jing? How is that impossible? If you didn't seduce him, would Child Jing take a fancy to you? Zhao Yun, don't quibble. It's useless." Li Chuang criticized her angrily. Zhao Yun snorted. "Second aunt, where did you get the confidence that I would take a fancy to Child Jing? Child Jing is just a little rich. How can he compare with Child Shitzi?" When the onlooking villagers heard Zhao Yun's words, they realized that a Child Shitzi was standing on Zhao Yun. Unless she was stupid, she wouldn't abandon Child Shitzi to be with an ordinary person like Child Jing. Besides, marrying Child Jing isn't going to be his wife. It's just a concubine. Second aunt, I'll make it clear to you here. Even if Child Jing takes a fancy to me, it's useless. I definitely won't agree. Only you treasure me as a concubine. Do you think you've hooked up with a rich husband? After Zhao Yun finished speaking, there was a meaningful smile at the corner of her mouth. The onlooking villagers were in an uproar. It turned out that marrying Child Jing to be a concubine was something that Li Chuang had the face to show off in front of the villagers. They thought that Zhao Jin had married into a good family. Then the villagers continued to talk about it, all of which were unpleasant to hear. How could Zhao Jin stand other people's comments? Her face turned red and she wanted to find a hole to hide in. "Mother, I told you to stop talking. Why are you still talking?" Zhao Jin said angrily to Li Chuang, then ran away with her face covered. After all, he was only a teenager. It was normal for him to feel ashamed. Zhao Yun sighed in her heart when she saw that Zhao Jing was about to cry because of the villagers' comments. She didn't want to hurt her cousin, but Li Chuang was too difficult to deal with. If she didn't say that, how could she refute Li Chuang? Li Chuang's face turned pale. In her heart, she was cursing Zhao Yun, this little bitch. She was too much. Not only did she steal Jing'er's man, but now she was causing gossip. Li Chuang was not willing to give up and continued, "Zhao Yun, you're just saying it. Who knows what you're thinking in your heart? Using the heir apparent as a shield? If the heir apparent was really willing to marry you, he wouldn't have remained silent until now, right? Why are you still cooped up in the village and living like us? You can't live in the crown prince's residence. In my opinion, the heir apparent doesn't care about you at all. Maybe you can't even be the heir apparent's concubine in the future. That's why you want to marry Child Jing." Zhao Yun's eyes suddenly became sharp. This woman really had a lot of imagination. Chapter 862. Mu Lianfeng's voice was cold, but it was very intimidating. Li Chuang was completely shocked by his words. With Mu Lianfeng admitting it himself, it was useless even if Li Chuang wanted to criticize him. Similarly, she didn't dare to do so. If he offended Mu Lianfeng, he wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. It seems that Yun has been slandered. She's not stupid. She can be the princess consort of His Highness, but she can't be someone else's concubine. That's right. Anyone who isn't stupid knows how to choose. Even without this comparison, ordinary men wouldn't be willing to marry someone else as a concubine, right? Yes, so what if she's rich? Being a concubine has no status at all. She can't even eat at the table. It's far worse than being a legal wife. Why would anyone want to be a concubine? Zhao Yun didn't care about the villagers' discussion. Yes, His Highness, I won't do it again. Li Chuang was frightened for a while before he came back to his senses. He hurriedly replied. Zhao Yun sneered. Mu Lianfeng was indeed useful. As long as Mu Lianfeng showed up, all the bad guys would get out of here. Second aunt, next time, please figure out the truth first before you make trouble for others. It's not good to slander people like this. Zhao Yun warned. Li Chuang gnashed his teeth in anger, but could only nod and agree. Yun'er, let's go. Mu Lianfeng pulled Zhao Yun and said, Okay. Zhao Yun responded. The crowd began to disperse gradually. Zhao Yun went to the kitchen of the third branch to prepare lunch for the men. Mu Lianfeng followed behind Zhao Yun and didn't know what to say. Looking at Zhao Yun's busy back, a trace of guilt emerged in his heart. After all, Zhao Yun was bullied like this today because he didn't do a good job. He didn't give Zhao Yun a status and couldn't let Zhao Yun become his princess consort. That was why she was slandered like this. Thinking of this, Mu Lianfeng felt that he had to marry Zhao Yun as soon as possible. He had to let everyone know that she was his wife. Princess consort should be loved by everyone instead of being bullied. Give him a little more time, just give him a little more time. He would definitely let her marry him in a grand manner. Zhao Yun turned around and saw Mu Lianfeng staring at her back in a daze. She could not help but raise her eyebrows and ask, Mu Lianfeng, what's wrong with you? Why are you in a daze? Mu Lianfeng finally reacted. He curved his lips and said with a smile, I'm fine. If you're fine, go back to the room and rest. Dinner will be ready later. Mu Lianfeng shook his head. No need. I'll help you cook. Go and rest. My mother and I will be enough in the kitchen. Yun, I specially came back from the mountain to spend more time with you and Daodu. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone down the mountain. Zhao Yun's lips curved. She said with a smile, All right then. Go and start the fire. Zhao Yun then called out to Liang Jinxiao. Mother, help me cut the vegetables. Okay. Liang Jinxiao responded. Looking at Mu Lianfeng, who was busy in front of the stove, Liang Jinxiao's eyes revealed a strange emotion. Chapter 863. Her Yun was blessed to be able to find a man like the heir apparent. As Zhao Yun cooked, she asked Liang Jinxiao, Mother, didn't you say that youngest aunt was coming today? Why isn't she here yet? Speaking of this, Liang Jinxiao was also very curious. Yeah, I find it strange too. If she was coming, she should be here by now. Why isn't she here yet? Could it be that she has something on today, so she can't come? Liang Jinxiao muttered. Zhao Yun thought about it and felt that it was possible. After all, every family would have some kind of situation to some extent. It was a pity that she had prepared so many dishes. If her youngest aunt didn't come, she probably wouldn't be able to eat them. She didn't know when her youngest aunt would come over, so she couldn't possibly prepare good food every day. As they were talking, a woman's voice sounded from outside the door. Eldest sister, eldest sister. Liang Jinxiao's hands paused, and she smiled at Zhao Yun and said, Yun, speak of the devil. Your youngest aunt is here now. She's just in time for lunch. Zhao Yun responded. Liang Jinxiao walked out of the kitchen, and Zhao Yun followed curiously. She was curious about what her youngest aunt was like. After Zhao Yun walked out of the kitchen, she saw a woman standing in her courtyard. Beside her was a 16 or 17-year-old boy who looked about the same age as Zhao Tianan. However, Zhao Yun realized that although her youngest aunt was younger than Liang Jinxiao, she looked very old. She seemed to be a few years older than Liang Jinxiao. Zhao Yun's youngest aunt, Liang Jinyu, had yellowish-brown skin. Her hands were so wrinkled that they couldn't be looked at. She was skinny, without a trace of meat. Even her clothes were tattered, and there was a lot of white hair in her hair. He was clearly a man in his 30s, but he was tormented as if he was in his 40s or 50s. It was a heart-wrenching sight. The reason why Liang Jinyu was like this was because her family's condition was too poor, much worse than old Zhao's family. In order to survive, her aunt's family had contracted a lot of land. Then, under the oppression of the landlords, her harvest was very small. She worked herself to death all day long, and the family didn't have much rice to eat. They were often in a state of hunger. "Little sister, why did you only come at this time?" Liang Jinxiao went forward and greeted her. Zhao Yuner came over and greeted Liang Jinyu. "Auntie." Liang Jinyu stared at Zhao Yuner and asked Liang Jinxiao, "Sister, is this Yuner?" Liang Jinxiao nodded. The corner of Liang Jinyu's mouth revealed a kind smile as she said to Liang Jinxiao, "Big sister, your Yun has become more and more beautiful." With that, Liang Jinyu took Zhao Yuner's hand intimately and sighed slightly. "What a good child. It's just that she has suffered a lot in the past few years." Liang Jinyu knew that Zhao Yuner was pregnant before marriage, but Liang Jinyu didn't know about the changes in Zhao Yuner's family in the past few months. Even so, Zhao Yuner found that her youngest aunt didn't dislike her at all. This attitude was very different from that of ordinary people. Zhao Yuner's heart warmed, especially when she met Liang Jinyu's concerned eyes. Those eyes couldn't be faked. Her youngest aunt was indeed as her mother said. She wasn't a weirdo. At the same time, Zhao Yuner sighed in relief in her heart. Finally, the whole family had met a normal person. Chapter 864. I'm fine. You can go in and rest for a while. Lunch will be ready soon. Speaking of this, Liang Jinyu waved her hand and said to Zhao Yuner and Liang Jinxiao, "I came to see you. I'll go back after I send the money. I still have work to do at home. Otherwise, I wouldn't have rushed over so late." As Liang Jinyu spoke, she took out a wrinkled red paper bag from her sleeve and handed it to Liang Jinxiao. She said to Liang Jinxiao, "Elder sister, this is a little token of my appreciation, although it's not much." Liang Jinxiao took it. Seeing the heavy copper coins in the red packet, he knew at a glance that Liang Jinyu had given a lot of money. Liang Jinxiao knew that his younger sister lived a hard life. It was not easy for her to take out money, let alone take out so much money. Liang Jinxiao looked at it and saw that there were 66 copper coins. He guessed that Liang Jinyu was thinking that it was good luck. Liang Jinxiao's brows were tightly knitted together. She pulled her younger sister and said, "Little sister, you can just give 15 copper coins or 20 copper coins to express your sincerity. Tell me, why did you suddenly take out 66 copper coins?" Liang Jinxiao's face was stiff, as if he was unhappy with Liang Jinyu's behavior. Liang Jinyu said, "Elder sister, it's not much. Pinger is my niece. Do you think I can give less? If you think this money is too much, you can ask Pinger to bring it to her husband's house and let Pinger have more money for herself." Liang Jinxiao sighed and did not know what to say to Liang Jinyu. "Younger sister, your family's conditions are special. Life is not easy. How can you take out so much money? Use the rest of the money to buy more things for your children to nourish their bodies. Look at how thin Shirtu has become." The Shirtu that Liang Jinxiao mentioned was the boy who came with Liang Jinyu, Zhao Yuner's cousin. When he was growing, he didn't eat well, so he was malnourished. He was dry and thin, and his height was half a head shorter than Zhao Tianan's. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Big sister, if you don't accept it, then you're looking down on me." Liang Jinxiao naturally couldn't say anything after hearing what Liang Jinyu said. If she continued, it would only make Liang Jinyu think that her family didn't accept so much money because they pitted her family. No matter what era people were in, the last thing they wanted to see was other people's sympathetic eyes. She hated being pitted by others. Zhao Yuner tugged at Liang Jinxiao's sleeve and said, "Mother, since it's a gift from Xiao Yi, don't be so long-winded. Quickly accept it." Liang Jinxiao responded, "Okay, I'll tell Ping about it later. Tell her that her aunt treats her the best." Liang Jinxiao's words made Liang Jinyu feel a little sad. She thought about how she had given 66 copper coins to her second sister's daughter. At that time, her second sister's reaction was not like this. Not only was she unhappy, but she also complained that she had given too little. She even said that Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui had given her 200 copper coins. In fact, her second sister didn't know that even though she had borrowed money from others and scraped together the 66 copper coins, she probably wouldn't have been able to afford it otherwise. Now that she compared herself to her eldest sister, Liang Jinyu was puzzled. They were obviously sisters, so why was there such a big difference? Her eldest sister was much more considerate. Chapter 865. Well, Liang Jinyu seemed to be a little hesitant. Seeing Liang Jinyu's hesitation, Zhao Yun said with a smile, "Aunt, how long will it take to have a meal? You and Brother Stone have run so far. You must be tired, right? You can't just come to my house and leave. You should at least take a rest and drink a glass of water. It's almost noon. My mother has prepared a lot of dishes for you today. You can't let my mother's efforts go to waste." Liang Jinxiao agreed, "Yes, sister. Why do you say that you should leave after having a meal? She has prepared a lot of good dishes today." Liang Jinyu was afraid to trouble Liang Jinxiao. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Yun persuaded her repeatedly, so she was too embarrassed to refuse. "Sister, will it be too much trouble for you?" Liang Jinyu frowned and asked carefully. Liang Jinxiao shook her head. "It's okay, sister. Don't worry. Now that we've separated from the family, it's not troublesome for us to entertain people." Only then did Liang Jinyu relent and reply, "All right then, big sister, I'll stay and eat." But Liang Jinxiao responded with a smile. She invited Liang Jinyu and Stone into the house and poured a cup of tea for each of them. "Sister, sit down and have a rest first. I'll go and cook. Today, big brother and second brother are also here. We can have a good talk." Hearing Liang Jinxiao say that Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui were also here, Liang Jinyu was slightly surprised. "Sister, why are big brother and second brother also here?" Liang Jinxiao told Liang Jinyu about what had happened at home. Hearing that, Liang Jinyu couldn't help sighing in her heart. She didn't expect that the situation of her sister's family had changed so much during this period. However, seeing that her sister's family could live a better life, she was happy too. "Sister, you can go and help them. Don't worry about me." "Okay, then sit down and have a rest. Don't worry. I'll go and cook. It won't take long." All right. When Liang Jinxiao returned to the kitchen, Zhao Yun'er was already busy. Zhao Yun'er was quite satisfied when she thought of her simple aunt. If all her relatives could be like her aunt, then there wouldn't be so much trouble. Soon, a fragrant smell wafted out of the kitchen. Liang Jinyu and Shirtu, who were sitting in the third room, couldn't help but swallow their saliva when they smelled this aroma. Shirtu couldn't help but say to Liang Jinyu, "Mother, I smell the aroma of meat. Can we eat meat for lunch?" Liang Jinyu looked at Stone's drooling appearance, and her heart ached slightly. The last time they had meat was during the Lunar New Year. They hadn't eaten meat in months. "Shirtu, you'll be able to eat meat later. But don't eat too much, okay? The others still need to eat. 1 or 2 pieces will be enough." After Liang Jinyu's reminder, Stone nodded and replied, "Mother, I know." "That's good. Especially in front of your eldest uncle and second uncle. You have to be polite. Otherwise, you'll definitely be scolded by them." Shirtu replied solemnly, "Mother, I'll remember what you said." "That's good. Outside is not like home. Although our family is a little poor, we still have to pay attention to etiquette, okay?" Okay. Liang Jinyu was finally able to put her heart at ease after giving her instructions. Chapter 866. Zhao Yun'er was almost done cooking in the kitchen. When Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui saw Liang Jinyu, they frowned slightly. On the contrary, when Liang Jinyu saw Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui, she hurriedly stood up and pulled Stone aside. "Big brother, second brother." Liang Jinyu greeted them affectionately. Stone also greeted Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui very politely, "Uncle, second uncle." Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui responded indifferently, "It's not good to refuse." "Hi." Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui's indifferent attitude made Liang Jinyu feel very embarrassed. However, she couldn't say anything. In fact, she was already used to Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui's attitude. They were always like this when she met her older brothers. After all, their family wasn't good enough. Her two older brothers just looked down on their poor family. Although she felt a little upset, it was understandable. "Big brother, second brother, you must be tired. Hurry and sit down." Liang Jinyu greeted them enthusiastically. Liang Jinshun sneered, "Younger sister, this is our big sister's house, not your home. Why do you act like we're at your home? Don't we know how to sit down?" "Yes, big brother, you're right." Liang Jinyu's eyes slightly darkened. She stepped aside and didn't continue to speak. She was afraid that if she said something wrong, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui would pick on her again. After Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui sat down, Liang Jinhui glanced at Liang Jinyu indifferently and asked, "Younger sister, why are you here today?" Hearing Liang Jinhui's question, Liang Jinyu explained, "Big brother, second brother, isn't Ping getting married? I'm here to give her some money as a gift." "I see. You're so considerate." "It's my pleasure." "Yes, it's my pleasure. After all, you're Ping's aunt." "Second brother, you're right." When they were talking in the room, Zhao Yuner brought the dishes in and invited everyone in the room to eat. When the dishes were served, the people in the room couldn't help but sigh at how good the dishes were these days. There were braised pork, roasted lamb chops, braised chicken, steamed fish head with chopped hot red peppers, peanuts, side dishes, and egg soup. The small table was filled with food, and it was as sumptuous as a banquet. Looking at these dishes, everyone in the room couldn't help but swallow their saliva, not to mention being attracted by the rich fragrance. "Ah, today's meal is so sumptuous. Isn't that so? Even a big landlord's family can't eat so well during the new year. We are in for a treat today." The happiest ones were the men at work. The richness of Zhao Yun's dishes was something he had never eaten before. Not to mention paying them to work, even if they were not paid for the sumptuous dishes, they would still be willing to work for the sake of the food. "Everyone, sit down and eat," Zhao Wenhua said. The only difficulty with today's meal was that there were too many people in the room and they couldn't sit down at all. The women could only stand to eat. Even if they squeezed together, they could barely accommodate a few men. "Ah, it's really crowded to eat here," Liang Jinshun said, then said to Liang Jinyu and Shitu, "It's so crowded, how can you two sit down? Hurry up and get up." Chapter 867. Liang Jinyu was embarrassed by Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui's words. In fact, she didn't want to sit down, but Zhao Yun pulled her and Stone to sit down. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sat down. "Oh," Liang Jinyu answered and stood up with Stone. What her two brothers said was right. There were so many people here. How could she, a woman, and Stone, a child, sit down? Stone stood up with a red face. Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui didn't forget to scold him. "Hey, you're so ignorant. Don't you know the rules outside? Poor people are like this. Many people don't know the rules. It's normal. If you don't know the rules, you can learn them. You can't embarrass yourself." Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui said one after another. Liang Jinyu's face and ears turned red, making her feel ashamed. Zhao Yun listened to Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui's words. She couldn't help but scold them in her heart. Was it really good to humiliate and ridicule people like this? Because her youngest aunt was poor, she was ridiculed by her eldest uncle and second uncle. If her family was as poor as before, her eldest uncle and second uncle would probably treat her the same way. People like her eldest uncle and second uncle ridiculed the poor and flattered the rich. To put it bluntly, they were too snobbish. Zhao Yun stood in front of Liang Jinyu and defended her. "Eldest uncle and second uncle, it's wrong of you to say that. Youngest aunt and Stone came to our house to give us gifts and money. They are our guests. Of course, our family will treat them well. This big table of dishes is specially prepared for youngest aunt. What's wrong with her eating at the table? Being criticized by Zhao Yun, Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui smiled embarrassedly. They continued unwillingly, "Isn't it such a small thing? Yun, the money your youngest aunt sent over is probably not enough for you to buy these dishes." They meant that Liang Jinyu was too poor and didn't need to treat her well. They couldn't even get back the cost of treating Liang Jinyu with such great fanfare. She was still looking down on Liang Jinyu. Zhao Yuna was a little angry. What kind of people were these? Her first and second uncles were really weird. Zhao Yuna sneered and said sarcastically, "Eldest uncle and second uncle, you're wrong. My youngest aunt came over and gave 66 copper coins as a gift. Unlike eldest uncle and second uncle, you only gave 20 copper coins. I've treated all of you well, so of course I have to treat my aunt well." Zhao Yun'er's words made Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui very embarrassed. Their grayish-black faces flushed red for a moment. At that time, they didn't know that Zhao Yun'er's family's life had become so good. If they had known earlier, they definitely wouldn't have only brought 20 copper coins. Unfortunately, it was too late for regrets. Zhao Yun'er and her family knew that the 20 copper coins they brought were their true intentions. The corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth curled up slightly. She continued to ask her aunt and Stone to sit down. Because of this matter, the atmosphere wasn't very harmonious. Liang Jinxiao also felt that his two brothers' words were too much. He supported Zhao Yun'er's approach. After lunch, the men in the family rested for a while and then went out to work. Chapter 868. She wasn't very clear about her younger sister's recent situation, so she came to ask about it. After learning about Liang Jinyu's situation, Liang Jinxiao sighed deeply and couldn't help wiping the corners of her eyes. She thought that Liang Jinyu's life was much harder than hers before, and wondered how Liang Jinyu managed to survive for so many years. Now she had a way to help her younger sister. Otherwise, it would be good to give her a hand. Liang Jinyu saw Liang Jinxiao's worry, so she patted Liang Jinxiao's hand and said, "Sister, don't worry about me. Life is like this. My family is a little difficult now, but maybe it will be better in the future." Liang Jinxiao sighed and nodded. "Okay, Jinyu, remember to tell me if you need any help. I'll definitely help you if I can. Especially when it comes to money, don't be shy. Stone has grown up now. If he marries a wife, it will cost a lot of money." Liang Jinyu was very touched when she heard that. In fact, she didn't often get to enjoy the warmth of family. Even if Liang Jinxiao didn't do anything, she still felt much better with Liang Jinxiao's words. "Okay, sister, I know. Alas, life is not easy these days. Jinyu, you have the most difficult life in our family. Don't take our brother's words to heart." Liang Jinxiao comforted her. Liang Jinyu nodded heavily. "Sister, we're a family. I won't be so calculative." "Okay." The two continued to chat for a while. Liang Jinyu felt that it was about time, so she stood up and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Sister, I'll go back first. There's still a lot of work to do in the fields at home." Liang Jinxiao saw a little eagerness in Liang Jinyu's eyes, and thought that Liang Jinyu's family might be very busy. Although she was reluctant to leave her younger sister, she nodded in the end and said, "Okay, then. Okay, Jinyu, take care when you go back with Stone." "I know, sister. Don't worry." With that, he got up and left. Zhao Yun'er just came out of the kitchen and handed the packed food to Liang Jinyu. "Auntie, this is the braised chicken and braised meat that I made at noon. I packed some for you. Take it back and give it to your other cousins. They didn't come today, so let them have a taste." Liang Jinyu had already had a good meal at Zhao Yun'er's house today. She already felt guilty in her heart. How could she have the nerve to bring something back? "There's no need, Yun'er girl. We've already eaten lunch. You can keep these for dinner. Little sister, Yun'er's lass specially packed it for you. Just accept it. If my family wants to eat more, we can buy more and make more. Just like Yun'er said, take these back and let the other children have a taste." "Well," Liang Jinyu looked at Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Yun'er with hesitation. Zhao Yuna had already put the food into Stone's hands without hesitation. Auntie, you don't have to be so polite. We're a family. I've already packed it. I can't throw it away, can I? Liang Jinyu sighed and said, Okay, then I'll take it. The corner of Zhao Yuna's mouth raised into a smile. Chapter 869. After Liang Jinyu and Stone left, only Zhao Yuna and Liang Jinxiao were left in the house. Yun, only your aunt is living such a poor life in the family. Can you see if there's any way to help their family? Liang Jinxiao asked. She knew that Zhao Yuna had a lot of ideas. Maybe Zhao Yuna had a way. Zhao Yuna was silent for a while. This group of people had a lot of ideas, such as giving money directly. However, Zhao Yuna knew that with her aunt's character, she would not easily accept charity from others. Therefore, she could only help her aunt find a way to make money. Zhao Yuna thought for a while. If she opened a restaurant, she might be able to get more people to help her aunt. Unfortunately, she was not even sure when she could open the restaurant. As for when she could ask her aunt for help, it was even more impossible. I have to think of other ways to solve this problem. Mother, why don't we let aunt raise pigs? Zhao Yuna asked tentatively. Liang Jinxiao was a little curious. Raise pigs? Zhao Yuna nodded and answered, Yes, mother. Raising pigs is much more comfortable than farming. Raising pigs is our own business. Aunt's farming is rented by the landlord. Throughout the year, most of the harvest is taken away by the landlord. Therefore, we can't make much money at all. However, raising pigs is different. Mother, think about it. The pork sold is 8 copper coins per kilogram. A pig is more than 200 kilograms, so it can be sold for about 2 taels of silver. If we raise 10 or 20 to 30 pigs, we can make dozens of taels of silver a year. It's much more profitable than farming. Liang Jinxiao thought that raising pigs was indeed very profitable. Many people in their village would raise a cart full of pigs. This way, they could kill them during the new year and sell them for some money. They could also eat a lot of pork. However, raising pigs was a very tiring thing. Therefore, a large family could only raise 1 pig a year, or at most 2 or 3. Zhao Yuna said to raise so many at once. How could they raise so many at once? Liang Jinxiao sighed. Yuna, it's not easy to raise pigs. It costs a lot of money to catch so many piglets. Besides, what do we feed them? Raising dozens of pigs all at once, wouldn't you need a very big place to raise them? Liang Jinxiao voiced his doubts in one breath. In Zhao Yuna's eyes, none of this was a problem. Zhao Yuna then explained to Liang Jinxiao, Mother, you're right. Actually, we only need to pay for the first year of catching piglets. By the second year, we don't need to catch piglets anymore because our sows can give birth. Generally, when sows give birth, there will be more than 10 piglets. In the second year, besides keeping some for ourselves to feed, we can even sell some piglets to make money. As for what to feed the pigs, if we really don't do farm work and focus on taking care of them, we won't have time to gather pigweed and find food for the piglets. Pigs are not very particular about what they eat. When the time comes, we can just get them some rice bran and swill. As for the place to raise pigs, we can only build a large pig factory with 2 or 3 houses. If we don't use brick houses, it won't cost much. At most, it can be built with 3 to 5 taels of silver. After listening to Zhao Yunus' explanation, Liang Jinxiao nodded. Zhao Yunus' words were indeed reasonable. Chapter 870. If they raised 20 to 30 pigs a year, they could probably earn 30 to 40 taels of silver. How could an ordinary farmer earn so much? After a few years, they could even build a house and buy land. Their lives would definitely be happier than they were now. This was indeed a way for Liang Jinyu's family to live a good life. Liang Jinxiao still had something to worry about. Yun, how can we let your youngest aunt agree to raise pigs? She probably doesn't have the capital to invest so much, and she probably doesn't dare to. If we lend her the money, she might not accept it. Zhao Yun frowned slightly. Although Liang Jinyu was a little poor, she was ambitious and didn't like to accept other people's help. If she wanted to help Liang Jinyu's family, she had to think of a way to prevent Liang Jinyu from thinking that she was deliberately helping her family. Mother, you see, how about this? Let's raise pigs in our village. When we start raising pigs, we'll invest the capital. When the time comes, we'll call youngest aunt and youngest uncle over and let them help us take care of these pigs. In the first year, we'll pay them first. The next day, we'll tell them that the money earned from raising pigs will be split 50-50. This way, youngest aunt should agree. When Liang Jinxiao heard this, he felt that Zhao Yun'er's method was feasible, so he said to Zhao Yun, all right Yun, we'll do as you say. After chatting with Liang Jinxiao for a while, Zhao Yun'er got up and went back. Zhao Yun'er still had to go up the mountain to test out Mu Lianfeng's weapon. Just as she left the third branch's house, she saw old man Chen coming over with a smile on his face and a bag in his hand. She didn't know what was inside. When he saw Zhao Yun'er coming out of the third branch's house, old man Chen walked up to Zhao Yun'er with a smile and said, Yun'er, here. Zhao Yun'er glanced at old man Chen and saw him take out a handful of candies from the bag. Father Chen, what are you? Zhao Yun'er looked at Father Chen with confusion. This candy was good stuff. Old man Chen seemed to have a lot of it in his bag. In addition to the candies, Father Chen continued to grab a handful of peanuts and stuff them into Zhao Yun'er's hands. Papa Chen couldn't hide the smile on his face. With such a smile on his amiable face, he looked like the Maitreya Buddha. Hi Yun'er, my wife is pregnant. This is a joyous occasion. So I went out and bought some sweets, peanuts, and melon seeds to give to the villagers as a celebration. Zhao Yun'er was stunned when she heard this. Looking at the excited smile on Papa Chen's face, Zhao Yun'er felt unusually sad. Zhao Yun'er thought in her heart. Papa Chen only had one wife, and that was Zhang Cui. Papa Chen only had a lame son. Zhang Cui was pregnant so that the Chen family could carry on the family line. However, for so many years, the Chen family had been looking forward to it, but there was no news from Zhang Cui's belly. Although Papa Chen and his wife didn't say anything, they were still looking forward to having a grandson. They couldn't let the Chen family die. After looking forward to it for so many years, Zhang Cui was finally pregnant. It was normal for Papa Chen to be so excited. However, Zhao Yun'er was worried. Was the child in Zhang Cui's belly really the Chen family's? Chapter 871. Therefore, the child in Zhang Cui's belly was most likely conceived after she had an affair with another man. In that case, it was not old Chen's family's root. Old Chen's family was so happy because they were kept in the dark. If this matter was not exposed, old Chen's family would definitely raise Zhang Cui's child wholeheartedly. Zhang Cui had already cheated on her man. How could she let old Chen's family raise an outsider's child for her? Zhao Yun'er sighed heavily in her heart. Not to mention that this was the ancient times, even in the 21st century, if such a thing were to be exposed, he would probably be cursed to death. Old Chen saw Zhao Yun'er in a daze and didn't know what she was thinking, so he asked, Yun, why are you in a daze? Hurry up and take it, I still have to send it to other families. Zhao Yun'er came back to her senses and there was a touch of bitterness at the corner of her mouth. Although she couldn't interfere in other people's affairs and shouldn't meddle in other people's business, Zhang Cui was really too much. Old Chen's family seemed to be more pitiful. She couldn't let an honest man be bullied by a bitch. Thank you, old Chen. Congratulations? Zhao Yun'er said with a smile, but there was a hint of bitterness in her smile. Old Chen replied with a smile. You're welcome. When old Chen was about to leave old Zhao's house, Li Chuiying saw him and hurriedly called out to old Chen. Old Chen, your wife is pregnant? That's great news. Li Chuiying came forward and said with a smile. Thank you, thank you. Old Chen, since you're giving candy, it's such a great news. You can't just give it to my family and not the other families, right? Li Chuiying said and stared at the things in the bag in old Chen's hand. Old Chen was a little embarrassed. Well, didn't he already give it to Zhao Yun'er? So, he gave it to old Zhao's family. He didn't buy much, so he could only give a little to each family. If he gave it to every family, the things he bought wouldn't be enough. Oh, old Chen, Tianyu hasn't eaten candy for a long time. You won't be so stingy as to not give it to us, right? Li Chuang continued to be thick-skinned. She could give the candy to Tianyu. She could eat peanuts and melon seeds by herself. Thinking of these trivial matters, Li Chuang greedily swallowed her saliva. Since Li Chuang said that, old Chen would feel embarrassed if he didn't give it to her. Forget it, it would be fine if he gave it to old's family's family. Thus, Papa Chen grabbed a handful from the bag and handed it to Li Chuang. Share some with your families. It's wedding candy. Everyone will feel happy after eating it, Old Man Chen instructed. Li Chuang took it with a smile and said to Old Chen, got it. Thank you, Old Chen. You're welcome. I'm leaving now. Old Chen said goodbye. Old Chen, don't go too far. Okay. Zhao Yun watched from the side. Seeing Li Chuang's excited look after receiving the candy, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. She was speechless. How could there be such a shameless and greedy person? Li Chuang saw Zhao Yun looking at her with contempt and disgust. She scolded Zhao Yun angrily. Yun, what are you looking at? Seriously? Is this how the elders look at you? Chapter 872. Li Chuang couldn't win against Zhao Yun, but she didn't dare to offend her too much. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would find trouble with her, so she snorted. I don't want to talk to you. Of course, she wasn't in the mood to talk now. She had just received so many candies, peanuts, and melon seeds. She had to sneak back and hide in the house to eat. The other members of old Zhao's family were all in the house, so they didn't know that Father Chen had come and sent these things. Since these things were given to her, she could take them back and eat them all by herself. There wasn't much to begin with, and old Zhao's family still had so many things. If everyone shared them, what each person got wouldn't even be enough to fill the gaps between her teeth. How could she eat to her heart's content? She might as well eat them all by herself secretly. Zhao Yun guessed Li Chuang's good plan, so she shouted in the yard of old Zhao's family. Grandma, eldest aunt, youngest aunt, come out quickly. Father Chen just sent candies, peanuts, and melon seeds over. Come out and eat them with me. They're at second aunt's place. After Zhao Yun shouted, the people in old Zhao's house heard that someone had sent these good things over, so they naturally ran out happily. Li Chuang was about to walk out, but she stopped and looked at Zhao Yun with hatred. This little b***, she's too much. She must have shouted on purpose to attract the other members of old Zhao's family. Facing Li Chuang's eyes that seemed to want to eat her alive, Zhao Yun's mouth hung a faint smile. Second aunt, why are you looking at me like that? Did I do anything wrong? How could Li Chuang say that Zhao Yun did something wrong? If the other members of old Zhao's family knew about it, they would scold her to death. She couldn't let Zhao Yun, this little b***, have any evidence against her. Ah, there are so many good things? Hua Chunhua said hurriedly as soon as she came out. Her originally cloudy eyes seemed to be shining. Li Chuang screamed in his heart, it's over. It's over. Now that everything was in Hua Chunhua's hands, what else would she want to eat? Zhao Xinhui also walked out and asked Hua Chunhua, Mother, where are you? I want to eat too. I haven't eaten snacks in a long time. I'm dying of craving them. Feng Xianxia carried Zhao Yangyang out and Shen Pan followed behind her. Zhao Yun smiled and said, Grandmother, isn't it in second aunt's hands? Hua Chunhua took a look. It was true. She walked up to Li Chuang and said to Li Chuang, give it to me. Li Chuang was unwilling to give up. Just as he was hesitating about what to say, Hua Chunhua didn't want to waste time with Li Chuang. She directly took it from Li Chuang's hands. What are you waiting for? Hua Chunhua scolded Li Chuang unhappily. Zhao Xinhui walked up to Hua Chunhua with a smile and said, Mother, give it to me, give it to me. Hua Chunhua felt sorry for her daughter. She hadn't secretly bought anything delicious for her daughter for a long time. Now that she had something good, she naturally had to give it to Zhao Xinhui. Come on, take it. Eat slowly in the room. Zhao Xinhui didn't have a lot of things. She said a little disappointedly, why is there so little? Hua Chunhua patted Zhao Xinhui. They gave it to you. How much can they give you? It's better than nothing. Zhao Xinhui thought about it and agreed. Although it was a little, it was much better than nothing. Okay, mother, I'll go inside. Chapter 873. Hu Chunhua took a look at her great-grandson. His cheeks were pink and he was very cute. He was also Zhao Tianlong and Shen Panner's child. She liked him from the bottom of her heart. Zhao Yangyang even said to Hu Chunhua sweetly, "Great-grandma, Yangyang wants to eat candy." Zhao Yangyang's greeting melted Hu Chunhua's heart. Hu Chunhua couldn't bear to reject him. Hu Chunhua said to Zhao Xinhui, give Yangyang 2 candies." Zhao Xinhui pursed her lips. She was unwilling to accept it. Yangyang is still a child. He likes candies. Give him 2 and the rest is yours, Hu Chunhua coaxed. Zhao Xinhui was unwilling to accept it, but she knew she had to give it to Zhao Xinhui. All right then. Just as she was about to take out the candy, Li Chuiying suddenly became anxious. She was unwilling to accept it. Why was it that Old Man Chen didn't let her eat it and gave it all to the other members of Old Man Zhao's family? If that was the case, then why did she ask Old Man Chen for help just now? Li Chuiying hurriedly said to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, my Tianyu also wants to eat candies. I asked Papa Chen for this. You should also give my Tianyu some candies, right?" Hu Chunhua frowned slightly and looked at Zhao Xinhui. Well, Zhao Xinhui was unwilling to accept it. She was afraid that Hu Chunhua would ask her to take out more candy. "Mother, you said you would give Yangyang 2 candies. The rest is mine." Zhao Xinhui was unwilling to accept it. Hu Chunhua knew that if she asked Zhao Xinhui to take out 2 more candy, Zhao Xinhui would definitely argue with her. "Well, can't you give me 2 more?" "No, mother, if you keep talking, I won't give you a single pill. Yangyang can forget about getting any." Hu Chunhua looked at Li Chuiying and said, "Second daughter-in-law, you don't have to ask for it. It's not much anyway. What can your sister-in-law eat with only this much?" Feng Xianxia heard this and was afraid that if Li Chuiying really did not take out any candy for Zhao Xinhui, Yangyang would be implicated and would not be able to eat any candy. Therefore, he said in a hurry, "Yeah, there isn't much left. Tianyu is an adult now. I think it's better if he doesn't eat it. My Yangyang is a little younger, so it's better for him to eat." Feng Xiangxia's words made Li Chuiying even more unhappy. Why should her hard work be used as a dowry for someone else? Li Chuiying had a cold expression on his face as he said sarcastically, "Eldest sister-in-law, you've got a pretty good plan. Why should Father Chen's candy be given to your Yangyang, but my Tianyu can't eat it? Don't use age as an excuse. Yangyang is already an adult. How can she still eat candy? She's fighting with a child." Li Chuiying's words made Feng Xiangxia and Zhao Xinhui blush. Zhao Xinhui pulled Liang Jinxiao angrily and said, "Mother, look, second sister-in-law said that to me. She's too much." Feng Xiangxia stood on the same side as Zhao Xinhui. "Mother, what second sister-in-law said is wrong. How can she say that to Yang?" Hu Chunhua could not bear to see Zhao Xinhui being wronged, so she glared at Li Chuiying. Li Chuiying pursed his lips and continued unwillingly, "Mother, I didn't say anything wrong. What I said is the truth. I shamelessly asked Old Man Chen for the candies because I want Tianyu to eat some of them." Chapter 874. She thought that this woman didn't know how thick-skinned she was. Hu Chunhua glared at Li Chuiying. "All right, stop arguing with me. If you don't want it, Father Chen won't give it to you. He must be giving it to us. Also, you want something for your younger sister to eat. What's wrong? Why are you talking nonsense with me?" Li Chuiying was reprimanded by Hu Chunhua until her face turned green and white. She really couldn't reason with her mother. No one could beat Hu Chunhua in terms of shamelessness. That was fine. The main thing was that Hu Chunhua said it as if it was a matter of course. She did not feel that she was wrong at all. Tianyu can't eat it, and Yangyang can't eat it either. Can you give it to my younger sister?" Liang Jinxiao asked. Even if he couldn't get any benefits, he couldn't give it to his sister-in-law. Sister-in-law, why are you like this? Feng Xianxia blushed. Sister-in-law, I can say it like this. If you care about my younger sister, you can tell Yang Yang not to eat it and give it to her. Hua Chunhua knew that if she gave one of them the candy, the other would definitely ask for it. Instead of letting them fight over it, it was better not to give either of them. Therefore, Li Chuang said to Feng Xianxia, my eldest son's wife, your younger sister-in-law is right. Let's give it to Hui. It's not a lot anyway. Feng Xianxia bit her lower lip unwillingly. Just as she was about to say something, Shen Pan walked over and tugged on Feng Xianxia's sleeve. She said to Feng Xianxia, Mother, let's forget about it. Give it to Andy. Yang Yang shouldn't eat. Shen Pan couldn't stand seeing these people arguing over a few candies. If she didn't know, she would think that it was something good. Country people were indeed country people. They were so calculative because they were poor. Zhao Xinhui was proud. Mom, since they don't want it, I'll take it in and eat it. Okay, go ahead. Hua Chunhua nodded. Li Chuang didn't want to give up, but he couldn't make a fuss in front of Hua Chunhua, so he went back unhappily. Before he entered the house, he glared at Zhao Yun. If it wasn't for Zhao Yun, these would all be hers. Zhao Yun, on the other hand, smiled proudly. Zhao Yangyang was only a child after all. If you secretly... Shen Pan thought for a while. Well, if Yang Yang really wants to eat it, I'll buy it for you tomorrow. Zhao Yangyang nodded. Yang Yang doesn't want to eat candy. I'll eat it tomorrow. Good boy, Yang Yang. Shen Pan patted Zhao Yangyang's head. She felt that Zhao Yangyang was very sensible. To have such a son and such an outstanding husband like Zhao Tianlong, even if his days in the Zhao family were a little bitter, it didn't matter. The people from the main branch entered the house. Zhao Yun finished watching the show and went back to her shabby house. After finishing her work, Zhao Yun went to the mountain to experiment with her previous plan. Chapter 875. Ancient weapons were basically made of iron. Although iron was considered a very hard metal, when two countries were at war, other countries' weapons were also made of iron. At this time, it was important to see whose weapon was more exquisite. The method that Zhao Yunner thought of was to change the material used for the weapon, changing the material used to make the weapon from iron to steel. As a person from the 21st century, Zhao Yun was considered half a top student when she was in school. She was good at chemistry and happened to know how to make steel. The method was not very difficult. Some lime was added to the original iron. After a series of chemical reactions, the oxygen in the iron was removed. After continuing to forge, steel was made. Zhao Yun only knew how to do it in theory. She was not sure whether it would work or whether she could forge steel, so she was just trying and experimenting. If it really didn't work, then there was no other way. Of course, if it succeeded, it would be better. The hardness of steel was definitely much harder than that of iron. The weapon made of steel would definitely be harder. When they arrived at the mountain, Mu Lianfeng did not expect Zhao Yun to suddenly come. He asked, Yun, why are you here? Zhao Yun looked at Mu Lianfeng's eyes. Because he did not have a good rest these 2 days, there were blood streaks in his eyes. If she could not find a solution today, she would not rest for a day. Zhao Yun smiled and said, I'm here to help you. Mu Lianfeng was confused. Help us. Zhao Yun nodded. Didn't you say that you want to improve the quality of the weapon? I have a way to try. After Zhao Yun finished speaking, Mu Lianfeng was silent for a while. He looked at Zhao Yun in disbelief. What? You don't believe me? Mu Lianfeng shook his head. No, you're very tired every day. You still have to worry about me. I'm really useless. Mu Lianfeng's voice was filled with some self-blame. Zhao Yun comforted him. I'm not worried. It's just that I heard you and Mo Yen discussing this yesterday, and I just happened to think of an idea. Let's try it first. It'll be great if it works, but it's fine if it doesn't. Mu Lianfeng nodded heavily, but his heart was filled with anticipation. If he succeeded, then he would be able to spend more time with Zhao Yunner and Daodu. In addition, he also told the emperor that once the emperor was happy and satisfied, it would be easier for him to make any request. Alright, Yuner, let's try it first. Zhao Yun nodded. Mu Lianfeng followed Zhao Yun's instructions and called Mo Yen over. Mo Yen was also overjoyed when she heard that Zhao Yun had a way. She was just like Mu Lianfeng in the past few days. She was extremely vexed over this matter, but she still could not think of a way. Seeing that the emperor's deadline was almost up, if they still could not think of a way, it would be over. Madam, how are you so amazing? Master and I have been thinking about it for many days, but we still can't think of a way. I never thought that you would think of a way after hearing it last night. If I had known earlier, I would have told you earlier. Zhao Yun was amused by Mo Yen. This flattery was not bad. However, Zhao Yun still warned her in advance. It's just a try. It might not work, so don't have too much hope. It's fine, madam. It's better than nothing that master and I can think of. All right. Chapter 876. All that was left was to wait. She was waiting to see if it worked or not. The few of them waited nervously on one side. Mo Yen was full of anticipation, afraid that it would not work. After waiting for quite a while, the item finally came out of the furnace. After the solution cooled down, a grayish-black object could be seen. Zhao Yun was certain that it was not steel, so she said to Mo Yen, "Take out a blade and try hacking it." Mo Yen was stunned. She had no idea what Zhao Yun was trying to do. Mu Lianfeng glared at Mo Yen. "What's wrong? Did you not hear what the madam said?" Mo Yen hurriedly nodded in fright. I heard you. Master, it's my fault. I shouldn't have thought about it." Mu Lianfeng snorted coldly. "If you heard her, then do as the madam said." Mo Yen immediately nodded again. "Yes, master." As she said that, Mo Yen followed Zhao Yun's instructions and took out a blade. She swung it down hard on the lump she had just forged. What happened next stunned everyone. After Mo Yen's blade fell, there was a crack and the blade broke into two. The metal blade seemed extremely fragile before the object. It was not tough at all. Zhao Yun knew that she had succeeded when she saw this. She had successfully forged steel. Mo Yen looked at Mu Lianfeng in surprise and joy. Master, look. The madam really is impressive. She actually managed to do it. If we use this to make weapons, just how tough will they be?" Mu Lianfeng also returned to his senses after his shock. It really was as Mo Yen had said. If they used this metal to make weapons, regular weapons made of metal would not be able to withstand it at all. Alright, then do it according to this method. Once it's done, send it to the emperor to have a look and let him examine it, Mu Lianfeng said with a serious expression. He also let out a heavy sigh of relief inside. Fortunately, he succeeded. Otherwise, he would have to continue thinking of other ways. "Yes, master." Mo Yen was stern as well when it came to serious matters. Before she could be serious for a while, she continued to flatter Zhao Yun. "Madam, you're really amazing. You've thought of something that even our entire Tianhan kingdom couldn't think of." Mo Yen looked at Zhao Yun in deep admiration. Mu Lianfeng's gaze also involuntarily fell on Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's ability once again overturned his understanding. He had never thought that there would be such an outstanding woman by his side, and he had never thought that this woman would be so powerful. In the end, he still underestimated his Yun. He really didn't know how many hidden abilities Zhao Yun had. It was his great fortune to be able to obtain such an outstanding woman. It was just an accident. You don't have to say that. Zhao Yun smiled. She felt rather guilty from Mo Yan's admiring gaze. She was not so powerful that she knew everything. She was just borrowing the knowledge of the 21st century. If it were not for the abilities of the 21st century, she was not even sure if she would have starved to death in this era. "Madam, you're being too modest." Mo Yen smiled. Mu Lianfeng agreed very much. Mo Yen is right. Even if it was an accident, it's still Yun's ability. Chapter 877. Zhao Yun felt very helpless. Since that was the case, they could only worship her. Madam, what is this thing? Why is it so hard? Mo Yen asked curiously. After Mo Yen asked, Mu Lianfeng also looked at Zhao Yun curiously, waiting for Zhao Yun's answer. Zhao Yun saw that the master and servant were like curious cats, so she explained to them. This is steel. It's actually similar to iron, but it's much harder than iron. So when the iron knife smashed into it, it didn't have much of a reaction. Instead, the knife broke. Mu Lianfeng and Mo Yen nodded repeatedly. So this thing was called steel. They had never heard of it before. Madam, this thing called steel you're talking about, let alone our Tianhan kingdom, I don't think other countries have it either, Mo Yen said. What puzzled him was that he didn't even know how Zhao Yun knew about it and taught them how to refine it. Isn't that perfect? If our Tianhan kingdom uses this thing to make weapons, we'll have a much greater advantage than other countries in war. Yes, madam. If the emperor knows about this, he'll definitely be very happy. He'll reward you handsomely. Speaking of rewards, Mo Yen suddenly looked at Mu Lianfeng and said to Mu Lianfeng, Master, this idea was thought of by the madam. Why don't you report it to the emperor and ask him to reward the madam? If the emperor knows about it, he'll give the madam the title of county princess or princess. At that time, the madam's status will be different. Master, if you marry the madam, the old madam won't object? Mo Yen knew very well that the steel Zhao Yun made this time would have a great effect on weapons. It would directly affect the army's marching and fighting. It would increase the strength of the army of Tianhan Kingdom, and they would have a great advantage when fighting other countries. It had to be said that this was a great result. It wasn't impossible for the emperor to give Zhao Yun the title of county princess or princess. Mu Lianfeng listened to Mo Yan's words. What he said made sense. His grandmother valued her disciples the most. She was against him and Zhao Yun. That was because she looked down on Zhao Yun. She despised Zhao Yun for being just an ordinary little peasant girl. If Zhao Yun had been personally conferred the title of county princess by the emperor, then the situation would be very different. After a moment of silence, Mu Lianfeng said to Mo Yen, That's a good idea. I won't forget to reward you when we get back. Just tell me what you want. Mo Yen was overjoyed. She thought that her master had finally discovered her conscience for once. Master, this subordinate doesn't want much reward. I just hope to be able to eat madam's cooking often. That's the only thing I can't do. Mu Lianfeng curled his lower lip and said softly. Mo Yen looked at Mu Lianfeng gloomily. What kind of person was this? Why did he go back on his word? Just when Mo Yen wanted to complain, she heard Zhao Yun's pleasant voice. All right, Mu Lianfeng, just let him eat a little more. It's better than asking you for money. Let's save the money for Daoist's marriage in the future. Zhao Yun's words also amused Mu Lianfeng. Since Yun has said that, then let's do as Yun says. Mu Lianfeng finally had some free time after the matter of the weapons was resolved. He returned to the village with Zhao Yun. Chapter 878. This time, she brought her second cousin along with her to Sun City. Zhao Tianhu woke up early in the morning. He put on a set of new clothes and went to Sun City with Zhao Yun. After tidying up and dressing up, he put on a set of new clothes and shaved his face clean. Zhao Yun realized that her second cousin was quite good-looking. He had thick eyebrows and big eyes. The lines on his face were very distinct. Although he was not as delicate as Zhao Tianlong, he had the charm of a mature man. Zhao Tianlong and Zhao Tianhu were twin brothers. The reason why there was such a big difference was because Zhao Tianlong had been studying since he was young. Naturally, he had the temperament of a scholar. Because of his studies, Zhao Tianlong had never touched the farm work of old Zhao's family. Zhao Tianhu was the opposite. Zhao Tianhu had been working since he was young, and the work he did was all manual labor. After a long time, he developed muscles and looked very strong. After being exposed to the sun for a long time, Zhao Tianhu's skin was very dark. It was the kind of yellowish black. There were two types of women, each with their own charms. However, Zhao Yun preferred the more manly type of man. In Zhao Yun's opinion, those delicate men were especially feminine. On the way, Zhao Yun sized up Zhao Tianhu, making Zhao Tianhu feel very shy and uncomfortable. Seeing that Zhao Tianhu's cheeks were stained with a touch of red, Zhao Yun continued to tease him. "Second cousin, you look really good today. You're different from usual." After being praised by Zhao Yun, Zhao Tianhu scratched his head shyly and said, "Sister Yun, don't tease me. What's there to be good-looking about me?" Zhao Tianhu had never heard anyone praise him for his good looks. Therefore, he felt that he was definitely not good-looking. He still had an elder brother above him. With his elder brother around, everyone who praised him was basically his elder brother. When compared to him, it was normal for him to be neglected. "Second cousin, I'm not laughing at you. What I said is the truth. You are very good-looking. If you don't believe me, you can ask my mother and sister-in-law Mulan." Liang Jinxiao smiled and agreed, "Yeah, I didn't notice it before, but after dressing up a little today, I do look a lot better." "He looks quite handsome in our village," Mulan said. Zhao Tianhu's face turned even redder when he heard the words of the three women. "You think it's beautiful, but other people might not think so," Zhao Tianhu said timidly. The other person he was referring to was naturally the girl he was going on a blind date with today. It could be seen that Zhao Tianhu was still a little nervous. It was normal for him to have this kind of reaction. After all, it was his marriage. Zhao Tianhu hadn't had much contact with girls before. This was the first time he was meeting a strange girl. Seeing that Zhao Tianhu was nervous, Zhao Yun comforted him. "Second cousin, be confident. Don't be too nervous. Think about it. You're not bad-looking. We all think you're good-looking. Women like you should have the same taste. She must also think you're good-looking." Being comforted by Zhao Yun, Zhao Tianhu felt a little better. "Really? Of course. Second cousin, why would we lie to you?" Chapter 879. In Zhao Yun's eyes, he looked exceptionally adorable. Actually, her second cousin was quite adorable. It was just that she hadn't interacted much with him in the past. On the way, Zhao Tianhu was both nervous and expectant. Soon, they arrived at Yang City. They arrived rather early, so there weren't many people around. The blind date had to wait for a while. When Zhao Tianhu arrived, he didn't idle around. Instead, he helped Zhao Yun with her work. He was much more diligent than the others. He was such a hardworking, kind, and honest man. Actually, it wouldn't be bad to marry such a man. Her eldest aunt had arranged Zhao Tianhu's marriage for him. She was concerned about her cousin, but she couldn't possibly get involved and help her cousin arrange his marriage, right? If this blind date failed, then this marriage would fall through. She wanted to discuss with Mulan to matchmake Mu Hin and Zhao Tianhu. Both of them were honest and hardworking people, so they would definitely be able to spend their days together. Although her eldest aunt wasn't a good person, she was good to her son and daughter-in-law. If Mu Hin married over, she wouldn't have to suffer. Zhao Yun was just thinking about it. She didn't know the specifics. She would wait and see. If Zhao Tianhu's marriage was successful, then she wouldn't have to continue worrying about it. The morning stall was busy. Business was a little slower than before because Yi Li still didn't come. It had been 2 days. It seemed that something had really happened. Zhao Yun was worried. This guy was alone without his family. Could he have fallen sick? Caught a cold? If that was the case, then he would still have someone to take care of him. It was a pity that Zhao Yun didn't know where Yi Li lived. Otherwise, she could check to see if something had happened to him. Zhao Yun set up the stall while chatting with Zhao Yun. What Liang Jinxiao was worried about now was Xiao Ping'er's wedding. As the day approached, there were many things that needed to be done. "Mother, didn't the family Qin say that they would send betrothal gifts? Why haven't they sent them yet?" Zhao Yun asked in confusion. Liang Jinxiao shook his head and said, "I'm not sure about that either. There's no reply from them. As a woman, I don't think it's appropriate for her to ask, right? Mother, could it be that he doesn't want to marry Ping'er and went back?" Zhao Yun asked worriedly. Liang Jinxiao frowned. No way. Mother, there's nothing wrong with that. According to the etiquette, their family should be here. Well, If they don't want to marry Ping, they should at least send us a message in advance, Guning said. It's impossible for them not to say a word. Zhao Yunner frowned. I don't know. I hope not. After all, our families have already made an agreement. It's not easy for them to go back on their words. Yes. Liang Jinxiao answered with a thoughtful expression. The truth was somewhat similar to what Zhao Yunner had guessed. The reason why the family Qin hadn't sent the betrothal gifts to the third branch yet was that the Qin Yuan had a quarrel with the family. In the 21st century, it was called premarital phobia. After all, Zhao Pinger's appearance was truly too ugly. As long as a man saw that face, he would probably be extremely disgusted. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.